We're live. So what's good, dude? What did you get up to today?
Went and saw that Fantastic Four, baby.
What'd you do before that?
I worked for a little bit. Pretty much hung out with the dog,
Nice.
and yeah, got up late, so didn't have much time. Had some
Yeah,
oatmeal.
my problem was I got up like way too early today, and like I did not want to. But I got up early and I didn't want to go back to sleep, so I ended up going on my walk this morning. And the problem was, so I go on my walk, I work for like a couple hours, and then I'm just there, and I'm starting to like feel really tired. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I was at Starbucks working, so I was drinking tea, but there's not really enough caffeine in that to wake you up or anything. So like I'm like kind of drowsy. I'm like, well, I might as well walk home now. That way I can wake up a little bit when I, like with my walk on the way home. So I did that, but I ended up still being like pretty drowsy. I'm still like not I never got my second wind, but I saw the Fantastic Four movie. That was sick.
You liked it?
Yeah, I loved it. Well, I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. How about you?
Yeah, I gave it four as well.
I gave it a fantastic 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Somebody asked me the important question: what does that mean out of 7? Which is, I work on the sevens system, and I said, yeah, it's a solid 5 out of 7. I'm not going crazy. I'm not saying it's a 6.
No. I could have been better, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we can get into it in a second. I do want to talk about how it could have been better, but I mean, like, I thought it was much better than Superman. What did you think about that?
I wouldn't say much better, but it was definitely better.
Yeah, it
Like I
was
feel
like,
like they're. I guess we'll get into it when we get into it. I don't.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
You know,
want to get
you know
into
how
it.
I feel about Superman. I thought it was kind of
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of a dud. I thought it was a super dud. It's gonna suck because we can't really talk too much about spoilers today because of the nature of it all. It's just like it just came out. Like it came out like a couple hours ago.
Yeah, the theater. When I went to go buy tickets last night, and there was only like 10 seats purchased, so I figured I'd just go to get a ticket today when I got there. And then when I went there, actually, it was a lot more sold. It was like 3/4 full.
Yeah, mine
So
was about that too. And last night when I checked, but I checked like late last night, there was like 16 tickets sold or something.
mhm.
And then when I got there today, it was a pretty full theater. It's been like fuller than it's been in a minute. And I think like about as full as Superman, probably.
Yeah, that's all. I think it was the same for my showing. People were pretty in my theater. People were pretty. They were enjoying it. They were laughing at some of the bits. I mean, but they really they applauded at the end of that mid credit scene. That was when everyone there was like a bunch of people just started cheering. So
I was kind of surprised because there wasn't a lot of laughs in my theater. But at the end of the movie, like at like the big climax when like, we don't want to talk about the spoiler, but like when the sort of when it when the climax of the battle happens, and then there's like a oh god, like there was like a noticeable like oh god, like oh wow, there was like a murmur in the crowd. I thought it was kind of crazy, but like throughout the whole movie, everybody was like pretty quiet. Like I chuckled a few times, but
yeah,
like I didn't think it was like it wasn't going for like joke per minute like
no,
Superman was, which I
no,
appreciated.
yeah. The humor is all like for me. Uh, well, you know what? I'll wait till we get into it because I could talk about this for an hour. You
Yeah,
know.
let's talk about in the meantime, while we're just getting wrapped up, let's talk about our boy Jeffrey Epstein. I have a different sound for my applause than there's like more cheering. I don't like it. But we were talking the other day in like our group and I accidentally recorded over my applause button.
Yeah.
And it was like Sophie like just going like something, like it was her like tripping over her words, and I was like, motherfucker. So I had to put this one on like a temporary, but like it doesn't have the same vibe as the clapping, like just clapping. So I need to fix that.
You're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
I know he's like hella played out. I know like his clout is hella low. I know it's like talking about Epstein now is kind of like talking about the Superman movie now. It's over. We're done with it, you know?
We're on to the Fantastic Four.
You know, I know we don't want to talk about too much about the Fantastic Four yet because it's the very beginning of the show. But do you feel like it was a W for Marvel to drop this? I guess we'll find out this weekend, right? I was gonna say, like, do you think it's a W of Marvel to drop this so soon after Superman? It's kind of like stepping on their shit a little bit.
So it's kind of like WWE booking all those shows around AEW.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Like, it would have been different if it was the same weekend. That's obviously crazy, right?
Yeah, that'd be insane.
And I think I think Superman's going to have a bigger box office than Fantastic Four, just because I think Superman's like a bigger name. And I think there's like, I don't feel like there was the same buzz about Fantastic Four as there was Superman, you know, despite it being like the th Marvel movie. But I will say, because of the end credits thing, like the actual end credits thing, which everybody has to assume it's like, oh, how does this link up to the rest of the MCU? You know, like because of that, I think maybe people will like word of mouth see it more. I don't know, but I definitely don't feel the same like energy about this as Superman movie. But I like this significantly more than Superman. As you can see, I got my sweater vest on for The Thing, like my guy The Thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a Brooklyn Dodgers hat, so I put on my Bernie hat since he's like a Brooklyn Dodgers guy. I feel like
I like that fit he had.
Who, The Thing?
Yeah,
The Thing was swagging out the whole movie. The Thing was like winning best dressed like the whole movie. He was like George Costanza. He was throwing fit after fit after fit. It was crazy.
And he grew the beard out. At first, I was like, no, don't grow the beard out. And then he grew the beard out. I'm like, oh, the beard looks sick. I like it.
He grew the beard out. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker wants to be me. I was like, that's crazy as hell, dude. I'm like, why is The Thing trying to like just copy my whole sort of energy that I got going on over here? Because you know what I was thinking while I was watching the movie? I was like, I should shave my beard, just mustache, like Mr. Fantastic. And then Thing grew out the beard. I'm like, no. I had to keep the beard like The Thing.
Yeah, Natasha Lyonne loved it. You know,
Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah, she loved the beard. You know, she was like, "Oh, you look distinguished."
I think I might have actually fucked up my sound. Let me try this again. Okay, no, I thought I fucked it up. I was like, did I really just fuck it up like a second time? But we're good. Crisis averted. Yeah, Natasha Lyonne. That was a surprise because usually it's Alicia Masters, The Thing's true love. But it's okay. We forgive that. We move on.
Yeah, I guess are we talking about Epstein or we're going to talk about the Fantastic Four?
Let's keep the conversation organic. We're talking about Superman and Fantastic Four. Do we feel like it was a booking decision to bury Superman by Marvel? Like, because I feel like in this case that DCU is the underdog, even though they have Superman, like they have the bigger buzz on them. So it's like it's Marvel, it's Disney. You know what I mean? Like they obviously have more resources in this duel right now.
Well, like you were saying, it's like how many Marvel movies is this? And so it's kind of like people do have a Marvel fatigue. But that was the first James Gunn one, so everyone's kind of excited. Well, maybe Suicide Squad was, but like the first.
Yeah, it's the first real DC James Gunn thing. What was the last Marvel movie?
Thunderbolts.
Okay, I thought there was one in between. I thought there was like something mid that came out in between those, but
no, I think Marvel's was Marvel's maybe. It was before that.
Dude, they had some duds come out before the.
Yeah, Thunderbolts is great. I like Thunderbolts a lot.
How do you compare this one to Thunderbolts?
It was better than Thunderbolts, but it was different. And the Thunderbolts is Thunderbolts is still trying to do that like that kind of Suicide Squad type thing with the, you know, kind of anti-hero stuff. So it's like a different theme, different vibe.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it very much. I enjoyed it more than Superman. I gave it 3.5 stars.
So my thing is, I wasn't even going to see this movie, if I'm being honest. I was also not going to see Superman, but there were extenuating circumstances. Like we mentioned on the last episode, I went and saw Superman because they were paving the road outside my house, and I had to feed my nephew's dog, who lives right by a movie theater. So I go to feed the dog, but I had to leave my house at like 6:00, and it was going to be like 100 degrees that day. So I couldn't like walk there because it's like 4 miles away. It was like 105-degree weather. So I'm like, okay, I'm not walking, but I also need to go do this in the middle of the day. So I'm like, I'll just go there now, finish my work, and then walk to the theater, watch the Superman movie so I could like be in some nice air conditioning, bide some time. By the time I get home, it's done. So that was my reason for seeing the Superman movie. Plus, also because I wanted to share my thoughts to the world who cares so much about my opinion.
You didn't want to be left out of the discourse. You got to know what's going on.
I had to be in there. I had to be first. Because you know what? If I would have went in after everybody was glazing this movie, if I would have came in after all of that, I would have gave it a 0.5. I'm that much of a hater, and you know that about me. Mm-hmm. Like that movie is gracious. It got a 1.5. Like it, like people are like, oh, I'm too mean to that movie because they all loved it. Even like the coldest people I know, like the sort of the darkest hearted people I know, are like, that movie uplifted my spirit.
People said this too.
Didn't Tamara say that to us? Didn't Tamara say this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen? No, Tamara didn't say that. But she liked it more than I did, which I was surprised by.
Yes.
I don't know if Craig saw it, but he's another cold-hearted individual.
No, yeah, you said Craig liked it. You said Craig liked it.
That's right. Craig was soying out. So all the people that I know who are hypercritical about these kind of things, they all loved it. I was the only one sitting there nasty, hating on the movie. So I was like, you know what? Fantastic Four movie comes out. I'm probably not going to see it. But then, as you know, Tony, how many miles have I been walking every single day?
At least 4, right?
It's 4 miles a day. So every day I walk 4 miles, and for the last 3 to 4 weeks, there's been a garbage strike in Stockton, California. And as you know, I stand with Republic for better wages, whatever they want, give it to them. These people are heroes, the garbage men. But because the garbage has been piling up everywhere, the city smells a little bit worse than usual, obviously, but also it's covered with these little Caesar's pizza boxes right here. And every pizza box has either Invisible Woman, The Thing, Johnny Storm, and Mr. Fantastic.
Did you grab that one off the street?
No, this is from my own personal collection. No, but I was taking photos of them on the street as I was passing them by, like yesterday. Now, fortunately, by the way, the garbage strike has ended. I'm glad that the city of Stockton and all the other surrounding metropolitan areas, or not metropolitan areas, they've all come to a resolution with Republic services, and they are resuming service. My garbage got taken out earlier today, which is beautiful. But so I was taking photos of all the pizza boxes while I still could. They were all on the street. The Thing, Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm, Mr. Fantastic. So I was getting photos of them just to show people, like, it's been buried into they've been drilling it into my psyche. Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four. Every 4 miles, I'm seeing Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four. So it's like,
The law of force. It's like numerology. It's just like,
if there is a God, and who knows, there might not be. He's telling me to see this movie. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to say no to God? It's the magic number, 44444. So yeah, I saw Fantastic Four, and I soyed out, just like Craig watching Superman, just like you watching Superman. You know what I mean? Well, I think this is a better movie than Superman.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
by
that.
the way, welcome to New Cool Meat Podcast number 33. The other God number 33. I'm, as always, of course, comic book artist Ramon Villalobos, joined here, as always, the comic book artist Tony Gregori.
Howdy.
And, this is the number one comics podcast where we don't talk about comics. We don't talk about politics, which is an apolitical podcast. And, we're just here working-ish, getting work done, vibing, chatting. But we want to, sort of bring you into our world, show you what it's like, the glamorous world of comic book art,
Sure.
So, hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to another episode of the show. You caught us right in the middle of talking about the new Fantastic Four movie, which is doing numbers. Upwards of 20 people saw it in my theater, probably like 20 in your theater.
Yeah, 20 or 30. There's quite a bit.
That's 40 people right there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, also, by the way, I got to mention, before the movie, Avatar 3 trailer.
Huge.
Machi.
So I was super worried because the movie that my showtime was same as yours, 2:00 on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working, like I said, I'm working at home, and I leave my house. The movie starts at 2:00. I leave my house at 1:56 because I don't live that far from the theater. I live like 3 to 4 miles, right? So it's not that far. And on a decent traffic day, I'm getting there in like 5 minutes, and I got every fucking red light today. And like, I feel like this always happens where like I was gonna leave at like 1:45, and on the entire way I'm like cursing. I'm like freaking out. Motherfucker! Like, really? You stopped right now? Really? I'm getting this fucking red light? You know what I mean? The whole way I'm like melting down. Like, I'm crashing out the entire drive. And I'm just like, what is going on? God gave me the 4, and now and now he's telling me, like, fuck you? This doesn't make any sense. Why, God, why have you forsaken me? Like in Chop Suey. You know what I mean? But
an obstacle to overcome. That's all.
He needed me to show that I had faith in him, Yeah. Yeah, and I ended up getting there like I think 5 minutes after, or by the time I get in the theater, I think it was like, I was there at like 7 minutes after 2. By the time I check in, I have to wait behind. I do the right thing. I let the old guy in front of me. I hold the door open for him, let him get in line ahead of me. I really shouldn't have done that, but I'm such a nice guy. I'm like, I have to do that. It's just politeness that runs through my veins. Sophie said she thinks she's the only one who hasn't seen Superman.
I think so.
In the entire world, probably. It's a huge movie.
Probably. Yeah. You should see it before she sees Fantastic Four, because she is a property of DC Comics.
No. I think you see Fantastic Four first. It's a better. I genuinely think Sophie would like Fantastic Four more than Superman. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Mainly because it's a team in their uniforms, and she loves that. So,
is that me or you?
Is it me? I think it's me.
That was you?
It's on my phone. Yeah. Hold on.
I'm so tripping out that I'm like, is that my fucking thing? Oh, right. You record on your phone.
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Oh, here we go.
I would think she likes Fantastic Four more.
Sophie says, I do love uniforms plus Galactus. That's why I thought, because Galactus in this movie.
You say?
They killed that. I was like apprehensive about it. You know what it reminded me of was the Mobius Galactus stuff from the Mobius the Silver Surfer like 2-issue thing. I was like, oh my god. Sketchy Got Hands says, I need to, but I want to do F4 and Superman, but not at Alamo Drafthouse. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, so I get to the theater and I'm like 10 minutes late. I walk in. I'm worried I missed the Avatar trailer. They had not even started playing the actual trailers 10 minutes in. So I waltzed in the perfect time. Like I see an ad for like, I don't know, like AT&T Mobile or something, like some bullshit. And then it's like, oh, here's the movie trailers. I'm like, this is wonderful, you know? And it was like I said, fairly full, the people in there. I will say, at one point, the kid sitting directly next to me, like not the next seat, because I always leave like the one seat buffer, you know, like because we're not sus. but the kid pulls out his phone and doesn't go on the phone, puts on the fucking flashlight. I was like, what is happening right now? There's a climactic speech going down, and this motherfucker is like reading something, like not on his phone, like reading something, like maybe checking the nutritional label or something. Like I don't know what in the fucking world you need a flashlight on in the movie theater. But I was like, is he for real right now? Like I was gonna say something, and then he turned it off. Right? Like I was about to be like, hey, excuse me, you know, like can you turn it off? I was like trying to formulate what's the least shithead thing to say right now, right? I don't want to be an asshole. But I'm like, the fuck is he doing? And so I'm about to say something, he turns the light off. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to worry about it. He fucking turns it back on like a minute later. It was like going on and off. And I was in this like push and pull of like, do I tell him now? He's like, he just stopped. Never mind, it's on again. Like I didn't know what to do. And then I'm missing her fucking climactic speech partially. Yeah. Salt says, I had one of the weirdest phone experiences I had in movie theater was with someone was Shazamming the music during Nosferatu. Well, I mean, that's just because they're a music lover, and that's sick as fuck. But yeah, like what music is in Nosferatu?
Man, when I got to the theater, they were playing like all the ads before, and then the trailer started, and they were playing the 3D version, so it was all blurry and shit. And I was like, damn, dude. Yeah. And I'm like, am I like in the wrong theater? What the fuck? And I like try to watch it, and I'm getting a migraine because every time I look at like 3D without 3D glasses, it hurts my eyes. And so I finally I walk down, and there's a woman coming up. It was like one of those sit down dine-in theaters, and employee was carrying food up. And I asked her, I'm like, hey, is that? She's like, yeah, I know, 3D. It's an accident. I'm sending somebody to fix it. It's like I might have been like the 20.
You for?
She probably like 20 people have probably said it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm gonna go sit down. I was so like showed her my belly, like, I'm so sorry. I didn't. Your food.
I probably wouldn't have got up because I would have assumed like 20 other people would have already done it. Like I'm not the only one noticing this, you know. And plus, I would have been like 10 minutes late. So. Yeah, Sophie says there's like 40 to 45 minutes of ads before movies now. That's like a bit of a stretch, but there is like about 20. You know what I mean?
My movie was supposed to start at 2:15, and it really didn't start till like 2:30, 2:45. Something like that. Yeah. It's crazy.
They're getting out of control. And like I gotta say, this movie, Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Oh my god.
I don't want to see it anymore. I feel like I've seen this ad 1,000 times. I feel like it's this year's with that movie where they had the Elvis song and like it was like a spy novel that like the woman was a writer. Argyle. It's the new Argyle.
I thought you were gonna say it's this year's Now You See Me, Now You Don't, because it seems like they make a new one of those fucking movies every year.
if I have to watch one more time, this fucking person goes, oh my god, you're the guy from Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Like, what happened to the other guys from that movie? And they're like, here we are. I'm going to lose my mind because I've never seen a single one of those movies. I didn't know that they were iconic characters, and this movie is gaslighting me into thinking they are. Don't you feel gaslit every time like you start like this movie trailer comes up and it's like all the characters you know and love from Now You
Woody
See
Harrelson.
Me. No, I don't know any of these people. I mean, I know them. I know Amy Adams. I know Dave Franco. I know Woody Harrelson, but I don't know them as like fun characters from a movie together. It's a lie. They're lying to me every time that movie comes up.
Yeah, that trailer is fucking rough too. It's so
It's brutal.
just awkward. Yeah. What was in the theater today? There was that. There was the Avatar, which, by the way, looked great. Can't wait. Goosies.
Goosies. I still got Goosies, bro.
Yeah.
Goosies on top of Goosies. It's crazy what's
Yeah.
going on with this Avatar movie.
Introducing the Fire Navi. Oh my god, I can't wait. The new characters. Oh.
It looks like Quaritch is going to be joining them, which is like you're a piece of shit, you know. If you do that, if you're like, oh, I would never be like you guys, and then you find a fucked up tribe and you're like, I'm like them. Like you think you're hardcore, you're not fucking hardcore, bro. You're Quaritch. Relax.
Yeah, you're a tourist, Quaritch.
Yeah,
Quaritch, a tourist.
But yeah, I'm obviously excited about Fire and Ash. I think that movie is going to be fucking incredible. Mm-hmm. Like at first, like I said, I was worried I missed it. And then it like they do the thing where like the curtains go back and they do like the last you know when it's like, oh, like put away your phone, go to the get concessions, like that last like reel. So
future presentation's about to start.
And I'm like, oh fuck. Like they're not even gonna play it at the showing? I was pissed. Like frankly, I was gonna come out here and say Fantastic Four is a dud. I was gonna say it's a fantastic bore. Because they lied to me. I was gaslit twice. Once in thinking, and now you see me, now you don't, is like a big movie. And second, like they lied. They said Avatar was gonna be here and there was no Avatar. But then the Avatar credit thing starts going, and I'm like, I'm back at Awa. I'm back on Pandora. I'm like, I'm getting emotional just thinking about the journey that we've been on so far, getting emotional about the journey we're about to go on. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't wait. Because I know Cameron.
Spider in the trailer. I can't wait.
I was thinking about how Cameron was like, I'm not even going back to America. Fuck that whole place. It's like, I'm staying here. I'm locked in. Like, even if it wasn't an evil place right now, I still wouldn't go back because I'm too locked in.
Yeah.
That's a different level of locked in. You know what I mean?
Where is he, in Aussie or New Zealand? One of the two?
He's in New Zealand, yeah. Pretty sure. I think that's where they're
actually, you know where he is. He's in Navi. That's right. Or,
yeah, he's on Pandora right now.
Pandora.
But yeah, so that was sick as fuck. And then they do the old, like this old-fashioned Marvel thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, here we go. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay. Because you know what? Like, they have that for Miramax. And when I saw it for the Holdovers, remember they do like the cream, like Miramax logos, like blue and cream. It looks like old-fashioned. I'm like I got chills when I saw it the first time for Miramax. That movie, that studio wasn't around in the 70s or 60s. And then this Marvel thing is like, okay, you just want to be like the Miramax logo that popped off. Everybody loves that logo. They use it for every Miramax movie now, which I like. But like, you're not that. You're Marvel Studios. Relax. But then the movie starts and they do like the old guy comes out. They start going like, you're right. Well, no spoilers, by the way. This is spoiler free.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I know I'm walking over exactly everything that happened. This is a spoiler free review. I'm cutting myself off now.
Is this a spoiler-free review? Like we're not a comics podcast and we're not a politics?
No, this is a spoiler-free review. Like we're not talking about spoilers.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. Yeah,
no,
it's gonna be hard.
Literally just came out. We'd be assholes. However, if you have a passing familiarity with the Fantastic Four,
you're gonna get it.
You know what's gonna happen. It's like if you're like, oh, I don't want to spoil the Batman movie. But he beats the fuck out of the Joker. Like, yeah, we get it. We know what the Fantastic Four are. Does the thing say it's clobbering time?
Does he?
No spoilers. I'm not going to say. By the way, like, look at how thing coated I am right now. Orange shirt.
Yeah. No.
Blue sweater vest, just like he wore in the movie.
Big rocky forehead.
You keep saying that. You keep saying I have like a sloping brow. I don't. Do I? Whatever. The beard, like the thing. I heard they got it from me.
I gotta say, the one The one character who I wasn't vibing with, not that he sucked, but it was Johnny Storm. I just didn't like that guy.
That was my. You didn't read my review yet because like
I did. I did
Oh,
read
you did
it.
read it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
read
never
it,
mind.
and I agree with you. And but
So
as I was watching it, I'm like, that's exact. I was like, is this motherfucker doing Freddie Prinze? That's exactly what I thought, Freddie Prinze Jr. Like, I'm like, there's
so
something eerily familiar and not in a good way about this guy.
in my
It was,
letterbox review, Sophie says, "Does he grow a beard in the rock form, like the orange rock beard?" Yes, he
no
does,
spoilers, but
and he
yes.
looks glorious. He looks like
Great.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks great.
He looks. I got the same brow, the same sort of
Sure.
primitive brow. You
Same
know,
Rocky,
I
primitive
look.
brown.
You know that motherfucker, the Thing? I look like the Thing. Shout out Tim Roth from Reservoir Dogs. I'm growing into my Lawrence Tierney phase. That's what I'm doing now. Alberto Reyes says the Thing would have voted for Bernie, though.
Yeah, he would.
Absolutely. He would
Absolutely.
have also voted for Zoran Namdani. But yeah, I wore the Bernie hat because the Thing wears Brooklyn Dodgers hat. I don't have it, so I wore this. It feels like the closest thing. I thought when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, Bernie made this hat this color because of the Dodgers."
It's like I was thinking, is that the
I
Bernie
didn't
hat
even
with the
realize
cursive?
it because he
The
had
B
the
looks
old
like the
B.
B.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
big shout
That's what I
out
was thinking.
to our boy. But have you ever read Bernie's book?
No.
In his book, he talks about like one of the things that really motivated him when he was like a younger person to get into like public service in his community was the Dodgers leaving Brooklyn because he was like a diehard Dodgers fan and they left and he was like heartbroken and he was like, how could this happen? And it like set him on a path. It was like very emotional. Like I have it on like an audiobook and I remember listening to it at some point and I was like, God damn. Speaking of emotional, this Fantastic Four movie, I don't want to, no spoilers, but I cried.
I know what
Twice.
part. Well, I know one part you definitely cried at.
Yeah.
What was the other part?
Well, I can't say because it's a spoiler, but I cried. Like the first time it was like there was tears welling up and I was kind of like wiping them away and I'm like, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? And then like a few minutes later, it was like, they were like coming down and I was like, oh, fuck. This movie's affecting me emotionally. Which I didn't think was possible for this movie, frankly, because it felt like kitschy. It feels kitschy up front, and I was waiting. Like as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, okay, at some point they have to drop this shit and like get to the, the meat of the story, and they eventually do, but it takes a while. Like it felt like it was like 40 minutes of like, kitsch, which I liked it because they do things like, oh, that's definitely, hold on. How is my phone not, oh, I know what these fucking noises are. I didn't mute my phone. It's always on mute, but I guess I unmuted it. My bad. Sorry about that. Hold on.
I would say like it did feel like the movie started and it kind of never stopped. Like in a way of like there was music. It was always there was a couple moments where it was quiet, but it was always like music underlying everything.
I like the score on this movie too, by the way.
I liked it. It had a lot of forward motion. You know, it never lagged. I mean, by the time it was over, I felt it didn't feel like a 2 hour movie. I was like, this movie's over
Was
already.
it a 2 hour movie?
I think it's like 2 hours long, and it didn't feel like it.
I stayed to the very, very end. Did you stay to the very end, like the end credits?
I saw
sting at the very, very end.
Yeah, I saw it was the cartoon thing at the end.
Yeah. Oh,
well, I mean, it's like not. I didn't say what's in it. It's just like, there's nothing after that, right?
No, that's it.
Yeah,
but we said
I saw the mid credits, so I won't spoil. I won't say what it is, and then the end thing. I stood for that. Yeah. By that time, I had to go. I had to piss so bad that I stood up and walked down to the aisle and down to like the bottom of the steps and just watched that last bit while I'm just kind of doing the pee-pee dance. Like, all right, let's go. Like,
so here's what happened. The movie ends, and again, no spoilers. But yeah, I did want to say like as I'm watching the movie, going into the movie, I remember thinking the Thing looks fucked, or he sounds fucked. The Thing does not sound like the Thing. I didn't have any problem with it in the movie.
Yeah, he
Like,
worked great.
like in the trailers, he sounded weak. I don't know if they changed it or if like I just got used to it, but he sounded cool. I thought the Thing was like maybe my favorite part.
I
Like
would say, yeah, Thing and the
he's
Surfer.
like
I really love the Surfer. I
he
did not
popped
think I'd
off.
like that.
Yeah,
I did not think I'd like that Surfer that much from what I saw in the trailer and the.
that's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say. Surfer, I thought was gonna be ass because the what little we've seen of her looked bad.
yeah,
But I guess maybe it's one of those things where it's like, well, it looks bad when you just see it, but when you sit with it a while, it's fine.
yeah,
But she was fine, and I also thought I was gonna have a problem with like Galactus, but like we said, he looked like a Mobius drawing, so I was like, oh, I'm in,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. And whoever the voice
Um,
actor was, it was a great choice because he was on point. When
yeah,
he was talking, it was great.
but the one guy I did have a problem with was the damn Human Torch.
Yeah,
He looked like Fred, as played by Freddie Prinze Jr. in Scooby Doo, the
yeah,
movie. He had that like look of like you're not blonde, you're not young, and you're trying to
yeah,
be both, and this is a problem. Who
yeah.
would you have cast for Johnny Storm? Because there was one
Uh,
name that was in my head. It was radiating.
one young guy, blonde. I mean, he doesn't have to be blonde, right? I mean, he can dye
Oh,
him blonde.
yeah, but who would you have?
Timmy Chalamet.
No, Austin Butler.
I don't know. He might be a little too cool. Well, maybe
That's
not. Johnny
the
Storm
thing.
could be cool.
Human Torch is a cool motherfucker. He's supposed to
Yeah,
be
but
like
see,
he's
that leads into something else where I feel like the movie could have been better because I feel like we didn't really see a lot of Johnny being
careful.
cool. Well, yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but it's not a spoiler to say that like yeah, there wasn't as much Johnny being cool in the
Yeah, yeah,
movie.
yeah.
He wasn't like a womanizer or a playboy or even like just you know.
Yeah,
He's like,
I think
if anything, he was like lonely. He couldn't meet a girl because he's like, oh, I finally meet a cool girl.
it was weird that he was the heart and soul of the movie, and he was my least favorite part of a movie that I
Yeah,
liked. I was reckoning with that when I gave it a 4 out of 5, where I'm like I like this movie a lot, but the central character was my least favorite part of the movie. So like that's kind of a problem.
kind of a problem. I think everyone else they make up for it though. You
Yeah,
know,
I love Pedro Pascal. I didn't think I was going to. I thought he was
he's
like
great.
so good. And I thought Vanessa Kirby was really, really good.
Yeah,
Um, and the Thing, like I said, you know, him and Herbie stole the movie.
yeah,
Well, and you like the Silver Surfer. I thought the Silver Surfer was like it's whatever. She, like could take her or leave her. Um, I understood why they did the gender switch after watching the movie. I was like, oh, okay, I see what all right,
Mhm.
makes sense. It wasn't for wokeness alone.
yeah. I liked all her action scenes too, like when she was like surfing around in space and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, you know, it's
it was
funny
really
because
cool.
I was talking to Nick Dragata about the movie because he had seen it. He went to the premiere because he's famous. Future Eisner Award winner Nick Dragata. So he was saying that, like, you know, he said it's like he's like it's really good. The action's really good. It's no Terminator 2. He said it's no T2, and I said Transformers 2, and he said no Terminator 2. And I was like, why the fuck would he say that? And then I watched the movie. I was like, oh, because they made the Silver Surfer the damn T1000 or what is it?
Yeah,
Whichever one the silver one is.
yeah,
No, the T800 is Arnold, right?
I think so.
Okay. Well, Salt says, haven't seen the new one, but I love how Evans plays Storm as a psychopath. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he was great. He was great as Johnny Storm in that. Chris Evans. I
That's
thought he
so.
was
That's the other thing is like I'm not a hater on those movies. I'm
no.
kind of a hater on the weird one that came out in between, like to the point where I
Which
didn't
one
even
was it?
see it.
Which
The
one was
one with
that?
the one with it was like a body horror movie. They were trying to do like a non. Remember they had like
The fucking Fan Four Stick.
I don't
The
know what that
Josh
means.
Trank.
Yeah.
Well, the logo when they did it, it was fantastic, and they had a four like in the middle of it,
Oh, I didn't know
and so
that.
people would just call it Fan Four Stick because the A was a four.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd never seen it.
yeah, that sucked.
It looked stupid, and it looked like like, oh, I don't need it because I have the other ones. But like my whole thing with these movies is like I do get a perverse thrill out of the Jessica Alba ones because they're so dumb and they're so like disrespectful to the core, like the material. And like I'm not a guy like, you know me, I don't want to be disrespected as a fan like James Gunn did. He spit all over me. I was covered in James Gunn spit. It was disgusting. But I like but I don't need it to be like super like hyper respectful to the comics. Like for me to have a good time with it, just be fun, you know. But it was cool how like this one felt very very sort of faithful to at least the intention of those things, you know. And they played up like the time period in a cool way where it didn't feel like an MCU movie that's just set in the 60s. It felt like a Star Trek episode with like a really big budget. You know what I mean? They like the way they dressed, it felt like, you know, like, you know, I've been watching a lot of the like 60s sci-fi movies. Like the one that came to mind while I was watching the movie was the Lost World from the 60s, where it was like just a bunch of like scientists and adventurers going to a jungle to look at some dinosaurs. Like that's the whole movie, but they're all kind of dressed snazzy and like in like coded uniforms and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, this is like, that's what it feels like. You know, it feels like that. But if those people didn't have to like tape horns onto lizards, like if they had real big budgets for these like shitty old B science fiction movies, like what if those B science fiction movies had like millions and millions of dollars to make that look cool? I'm like, it would feel like that, which was neat. You know, as a fan of those movies, those comics, it was like, you know, when they recreate the Fantastic Four #1 cover at the very beginning, it's like that's super neat, you know?
Yeah, that was cool.
Like,
I fucking smiled.
Yeah, I was like, I was sewing out.
Yeah, I saw it out.
You know what I mean? I was gonna tell the people next to me, like, I don't know if you know this.
That's a homage to the #1. Yeah,
it's a homage to Fantastic Four #1.
Moment too. Moment.
I know that because I'm a real fan.
Yeah, I love.
The Mole Man was great. I love the Mole Man was hilarious.
Yeah.
That Paul Walter Hauser or whatever.
I love that he was a simp for Sue.
Yeah, you know, everyone kind of is. That's the beautiful thing about Sue, you know.
Yeah.
But they don't love her because of her like Marvel rivals fat ass. They love her because she's an empowered woman.
Yeah.
They love her.
A beautiful spirit, strong. You know, represents strength, integrity, love,
in a feminist sense. They're like, wow, she's a feminist, and we applaud that. I did think that it was kind of cool. Like in that movie, the Fantastic Four really feel like the hope for the future is in these like 4 things, like having like a fighter spirit, like an underdog fighter spirit, like our boy the Thing, sort of the youthful rebellion of the Human Torch if they would have cast someone young. You know, a strong woman being independent and like thinkers, like real, you know, science heads, you know. And I thought that was cool. I thought the Fantastic Four has always been woke, if you think about it. But yeah, that was like it was a fun like symbolism. That's the thing, is like we talked about this last week or whenever we talked about the Superman movie. Was that last week?
Yeah.
Feels like forever ago. This movie has washed Superman out of my brain.
Super who? We're still talking about Superman? That guy's
it's old news. It's like the Jeffrey Epstein of movies, the Superman movie. Which would make who the Ghislaine Maxwell? Supergirl. Is she still waiting her sentence? But no, we were talking about when we talk about Superman, where like I don't want, like we said it when I watched that movie, like what I like is science fiction stuff in these kind of science fiction-y movies, right? My favorite part about Superman was when they were like splitting the universe in half. There's the weird atom wave stuff, Metamorpho, very sick, robots, very sick, interdimensional imps, very sick. Like all this stuff is stuff that I like. But in that movie, it kept getting relegated to the background for this like war in the foreground, which then it's like gets real dicey about the politics of it. I thought this movie, and this was a take that I had loading in my head, like I told you about it. I'm like, Tony, I think I have a take, a good take and a hot take. And I'm like, all I need to do is see the movie to confirm what I already know to be true, which is that the Fantastic Four movie is a better critique of Israel-Palestine than is the Superman movie, which is clunky and awkward because it uses symbols.
I mean,
it uses metaphors. It uses imagery that's larger than life and not fucking soldiers and people with brown skin.
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't beat you over the head with it.
It's not telling you, psst, this could be about the real life situation. Like, you don't need to do all that. You don't. Like, that is what makes the genre so cool. It's like Galactus is a perfect stand-in for imperialism. This is why I had to take. It wasn't just because I'm like a crazy person who sees things where they're not there. Because Galactus has always been a great metaphor for
it's consumption
and imperialism.
Yeah.
Because what he does is he moves from place to place, depriving it of its life force, destroying the people and that are there, and leaving it dead, barren, empty, and lifeless. And then he moves on to the next thing because his hunger can never be satiated, right? And it's just like you look at Israel and it's like, okay, they're going to bomb the fuck out of Palestine. And then what are they going to do after that? They're going to get the West Bank. They're going to get fucking Lebanon. They're fighting like an 8-foot war there right now.
They're bombing Syria. It's like
they're bombing Syria. They already tried to fucking bomb Iran, or they did bomb Iran, but they wanted a deeper war there. Like they have an unquenchable hunger and a thirst for death and destruction. Death. And at the end of that movie, again, no spoilers, but again, if you know anything about Fantastic Four, then you know like Galactus is going to show up. And when he does, it's like he's fucking up these buildings with casual disregard because he's looking for one thing. And when you level a whole city block because you have one target, there's only one thing that comes to my mind. When they killed Sinwar and they just leveled an entire block in Lebanon, killed dozens of people, and it was like just for that, And they didn't have to have a military leader be a buffoon to do it. And in fact, all that does is hamper the seriousness of that issue when this elevated it to a cosmic scale. So in one hand, you're going like, well, this is a clunky, awkward fit. I know Israel isn't invading Palestine. They've been in an open air prison. They've been occupying them for decades now. This is so much more potent of an imagery, and it's so much better. And I had that before I even seen the movie because I know Galactus. But my worry was, what if they fuck up Galactus? You know what I mean? So I had a backup take. Did I? Well, you know what backup take is?
No, what is it?
That Man of Steel is more anti-Israel than Superman.
No, that's ridiculous. That's a hot take, but that's also a bad take.
Well, I don't know because I haven't had chance to really think it through, and I didn't need to because this movie made it so it's a null and void take. Maybe I'll give it another go around. But I was going to watch if this movie stunk. I was going to come home. I was going to say, Tony, I can't record today. I have to watch Man of Steel to get a hot take off.
Oh boy!
Because I knew that's a great take and it's a hot take. So as I'm in the theater, as the credits are rolling, I already knew, like I already had the take ready. So it was like the bullet was in the chamber. As soon as the movie credits go, I'm like, boom, there's the take. It goes out. It's beautiful. People are saying, oh, how is it like that? There's no war in the movie. You're dumb. Watch the fucking movie.
I would say, I agree with what you're saying. But just to give a devil's advocate, media literacy is media literacy is an all-time low. So maybe in some ways they felt like they needed, people need to be beat over the head with the message because they're not able to decipher things to that level.
Here's what
I'm not saying I agree with that, but I'm just saying I see that point of view as well because it's like I do see because the people these days they just don't understand and everything from wrestling to movies to comics. There's like messages there and they just don't get it. It's just like completely over their head or they just You're not
Well,
able
you
to
know
pay
me, though,
attention to
Tony,
minute
is
shit.
whenever I come up with a take, I'm thinking of people shooting holes in my take. So the first one I had was Ben Grimm is Jewish and he dates Natasha Lyonne and they go to the thing. And I said, you know what?
Mhm.
Zionism is not Judaism.
No, it's
Don't conflate the two because that is anti-Semitic. That's a
Yep.
bad thing. So don't
No.
do that. And this is not just. It's like it's Israel, but it's not just Israel. It's also the United States.
Some of the
It's
most
also
virulent
the
anti-Zionists.
Western imperialist project.
Some of the most virulent anti-Zionists are Jewish. So
exactly. No.
yeah.
Yes. That and some of the strongest Zionists are not Jewish.
Yes.
So it's both things can be true.
Christian, Baptist, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. But I thought the movie was great. I'm worried that we plunged viewers by talking about it even in this depth. But you know what? Had to be said.
I haven't even seen. Is anybody watching?
We got 2 viewers now, but we had we had more before. But you know what? Don't talk about how many viewers we have because like if people watch this later, they're gonna think, oh, there's only 2 people watching. That's pathetic. No, I'm sorry. I meant 200 people watching this channel. Shout out to all 200 of you there.
Shout out.
Our dear friends, our huge audience that we have. By the way, Bet US, if you want to sponsor us, we're open for money. In fact, we even have an NFL segment coming up. Maybe today. We'll see.
We'll see.
Salt says enough nerd stuff. Is Tony still doing hella push-ups?
Yeah.
How many are you doing a day? 100?
1 to 120 a day.
Hell yeah! You know what? The new sound effect is growing on me. At first, I hated it, but now I'm back on board with it. By the way, I had said if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. J-Pop has had a question that he's been wanting me to ask him, and he watches the show the next day. He says, would you rather hear Danzig sing Morrissey's discography, including the Smiths, or Morrissey sing Danzig's discography, including the Misfits? Doesn't need to be modern forms of either, by the way. What is your take on that?
I'd rather hear Morrissey sing Danzig and the Misfits because
I agree because he's just a better singer.
Yeah, and also I like a lot of Misfits songs, so I would love to hear Morrissey sing some of them. So as far as the Smiths go, I love Smiths.
The Misfits songs without Danzig, like the later ones, because those are pretty good. Like I like their cover album where they sing Donna from my boy Richie Valens. But yeah, I agree with that because Morrissey's just a better singer than Danzig, and
yeah,
I was gonna say less of an asshole, but I think they go bar for bar, like asshole wise.
Yeah. I would say too, like I like the Smiths and Morrissey songs, and I don't want to hear Danzig sing them.
Yeah, right. I kind of like Danzig's voice. I like when he croons, but he's not as good of a crooner as Morrissey.
Yeah,
I've never heard Morrissey go like heavy, but who cares? Yeah, I'm sure he can do it. He just doesn't choose to do it.
Sure.
He might bring something sick to that stuff too. And then also, Salt said, best summer activities to do in Stockton and Zootown.
We float down the river.
Missoula. What's the best summer?
Float down the river in inflatables, go hiking, go camping, go to a festival. There's music festivals every day here in the summer. It's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, for me, I guess like just go on nice walks. That's what I do every day. I pick the most optimal time to go on a walk, and I go and I walk. And I interact with my community. I've been meeting so many neighbors lately. So many neighbors will stop me. Hello, who are you? You're inspiring us. They're saying you're like the thing, the way you're sort of an inspirational presence in the community. You saw in the movie, people love the thing, and I'm treated the same way out here. It's crazy. Other than that, I don't know because the thing is I don't do anything, so it's like hard for me to say what there is good to do. You'd have to ask somebody who's out there doing stuff, and it's not me. So, you want to know? It's like, oh, go to the park and draw, which is what I do. But anyways, you know what else is fun to do? when you pack watch someone and then it's time to pack them out, which is what we're doing right now for Hulk Hogan.
Let's go.
So how did you find out that one of the, you know what's crazy, by the way, is one of the first episodes of this podcast. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. You know what? Cheers to that.
How did I find out? I woke up.
Yeah.
And there was I'm in a text chain with some local artists, and they were already roasting him. And I woke up, I'm like, damn, Hogan died.
So like I said, I was up, and I think I went for my walk, and like I was walking, I'm listening to like New Order or something. I get into the Starbucks. No, was it before that? All I know is like I was not on my phone. Oh, I was charging my phone so that I could go on my walk, because I don't like to go out unless I have like 100% battery, you know, just in case. So I'm charging my phone, and I'm like watching a YouTube video while I like get my shit ready, and then I pick up my phone to go for my walk, and I open my phone, and I just see like R.I.P. Hulk Hogan in like my group chat with my brothers, and I'm like, no fucking way. So then I go into our chat, and I see that it had just been posted there, and I was like, oh, it's on. It's time to pack watch. So the thing is, like with Hogan, it's a weird thing because like we don't have to talk about who Hogan is. Everybody knows Hulk Hogan, right? But it'd be nice to talk about our personal experience with the man Hulk Hogan, because he's such a cultural figure that everybody touches with this guy in some way. Like either you know him from wrestling like we do, or the movies, or the fucking what, you know what I mean? Like, or just being like Thunder in Paradise, being like around, just being sort of omnipresent. Like I was gonna say, like the first episode that we did of this show, we talked about the Raw debut, I think, right?
Where he got booed?
Where he got booed. And that was like the last time he was like on, like he got to be in front of a big audience, you know? Yeah. The last time he got to be in front of like the public, it was for people to boo him.
Well, I first off, I went on his Instagram today just to see like what he's been posting, you know, and mainly it was like promo stuff for his beer, and like a lot of it was just like generic posts that didn't have him in it. But then like from a couple weeks ago, there's clips of him drinking beer and then like doing stuff at his little restaurant that he has down there where he does like karaoke with all his fans.
Yeah.
And it's like a bunch of like, oh, it's almost Friday, because I guess Friday they would have a big party, and it's him just hanging out drinking with these people at this bar he owns. So I guess, you know, he was kind of doing his thing up until a couple weeks ago. And then I watched the Bubba the Love Sponge video from 3 days ago where Bubba was like saying that Hogan was on his deathbed and couldn't talk.
He was sounding the alarms. It's over for Hogan. It's over for Hogan.
From what the old Bubba the Love Sponge and his buddies there, his little peanut gallery, what they said was that apparently he had a surgery like on his like in his neck and his spine, but they had to move over his larynx to get there, and something happened to where it got fucked up and it never went back to normal, and he was having trouble breathing and stuff, so it kind of went from there, like spiraled. And that was just like
so
a couple
before
days,
we get
like
into our personal,
oh
yeah, go sorry.
Yeah, that was like a week or 2 weeks ago, and he's been like struggling up until now ever since.
That's too bad. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. So, I wanted to read an article from Slate.com that came out today. I was looking at articles because, you know, we like to do sort of reading here on the show to share with since we can't react to stuff because my Wi-Fi is so bad. We like to read here, sort of a reading series, like on Chapo Trap House. So it says from Slate.com, this is from Luke Winky. Everyone hated Hulk Hogan. Oh, wait, the most famous pro wrestler in history died as a villain who was all too real. He starts the article. Before I say a whole bunch of mean things about the man, let me be clear. Let me clear the air. Hulk Hogan, who died Thursday at 71 of apparent cardiac arrest, was one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time. Cap. Cap. No, he wasn't. He was ass. We were talking about a little bit about that in the thing today, where I'm like, look, Chris Benoit, horrible guy in hell. He had some bangers that I can't deny. Hogan, I don't know the bang. If they're bangers, I don't know them, or I can deny them.
Yeah, I don't think he had any bangers really. I mean, he had memorable moments in matches that were like because of the build and the, the hype around it.
I'm sure the Stinger carried him, but not at their most famous match. That was a dud because of Hogan.
Yeah, when they fucked up the finish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about before then. Even like when he was in Japan, he had some matches in Japan that people say were great when he was still young enough to be able to move. Yeah, like the Warrior matches. Warrior never had a good match, so it's hard to say. Him and Savage had some.
But him was pretty ass.
Him and Savage had some decent matches in the '80s because Savage carried him. Yeah,
I'm sure Savage carried him. I'm sure Piper must have carried him at some point.
Piper for sure carried him. Yeah, Paul Orndorff carried him. All those guys carried him.
But what like the match with The Rock, which they always say, oh, that was his like no, come on, give me a break. Like he wasn't that good. And what happens when a guy doesn't carry him, when they actively, sort of fuck with him?
Like Shawn
Michaels, where he was just like making a buffoon of Hogan, and Hogan didn't realize it because he thought he was looking like the man.
I think if you watch that, there's a certain point, it kind of looks like a Hogan's face, like he realizes what's going on at some point. But it takes a while. It's like it takes like halfway into the match where he's like, oh, he's fucking with me.
It's an all-time moment where, like, in wrestling, it takes two people. The person who's selling and the person who's like getting their shit in. And like the whole match, Hogan is just getting his shit in because I guess he was like rude to Shawn Michaels or something, and Shawn Michaels was on his own trip. So he just starts like bouncing around like an asshole. And Hogan is just like, dude, this is sick. Like, I'm looking so tight right now. And everybody else is like watching like, oh my God, you look like a goof. You look like a fucking moron. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Hogan is just such an idiot that he didn't even realize that he was being made fun of. So like
no self-awareness, It's just
I watched a couple when I was working today before the movie. I was watching some of the some people do like their retrospectives. Like, I like Post Wrestling and I like Ariel Helwani, right?
I don't know how you
I don't know. Sorry, I don't like Ariel Helwani. I watch Ariel Helwani. I used to like Ariel Helwani. I don't know. I know what happened.
Yeah.
But at a certain point when when he decided like I'm out on AEW and I'm all in on WWE, the man has no integrity about wrestling specifically, but also like his MMA coverage is really bad. Like Conor McGregor has been talking about he wants to like fight at the White House, and Ariel's like, that would be so cool. I was like, really? Would it be cool? The man keeps getting arrested for like public intoxication, beating up random people, sexual assault. Oh wait, I meant to he's one of the worst guys in the world right now. He's a coke-headed freak.
To be fair, he's on the same level as Trump, so it's like it's not like
the freak who like just last week was like exposed himself to Azalea Banks in DMs, sent her a picture of his dick and then a picture of like his dick with a weight tied to it, and he said like, don't snitch. And so of course she was like, she talked crazy to him, put him on blast, like shared his nudes, and like Ariel Helwani covered this by going like, oh, Conor had an interesting week because he was talking to the bare knuckle president, and Conor co-owns it. So he's like, oh, your business partner, how great of a guy he's not a psychopathic fucking nut job. Like, he's just glazing. It's crazy, but he does the same thing with the WWE. It's like the WWE is like a horrible, horrible company right now. They've been for a while, but like specifically like right now, they're doing less sex trafficking, but like they somehow are still as bad. Yeah. No, probably not. That's too far. But they're a horrible, horrible company that finds new ways to be horrible despite no longer sex trafficking. I think
maybe
that we know of right now. We think that they've stopped sex trafficking. but they were known for the sex trafficking thing. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
were
and now they're
sort
just
of the Jeffrey Epstein of pro wrestling.
yeah. Now they're just like actively trying to destroy the industry through their like booking, through their shows, doing a show about like behind the scenes, so you can watch them.
That thing is,
talk.
you know, that thing is just like it's so corny looking.
It's so
It's just
yeah.
like, but
What's the
anyways,
point of that?
we've
Like
we've
yeah,
gone so far off topic. The point was that
yeah,
Ariel Helwani, when he talked about Hogan, he was saying things that were like that were blowing my mind. He was like, "Look, like this is a guy who, by the way, preaches journalism 24/7 about how great journalism." He's like Dan Le Batard, that he all worships at the altar of journalism, right?
mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan sued Gawker and got the whole media outlet shut down over journalism that they did because
Yeah,
he got funded by Peter Thiel. It was like it was intentionally done to have a chilling effect on people who wanted to report on Silicon Valley. That's it. And Hogan was a pawn in it.
mm-hmm.
He was used as a pawn in it, and he made out extremely like wealthy at the other end of it. Well, I don't know extremely, but he got a lot of money at the end of it, and like people just like glaze over that fact of like
Yeah.
it was horrible. Like we watched that one documentary about the Gawker trial. It was fucking insane. Like what Peter Thiel and Hogan did, and like that's part of his legacy. The Trump shit recently, part of
Yeah.
his legacy. All the fact that he was, you know, on tape in the sex tape of the Gawker thing that he sued them over, like that was what ruined his brand in the first place. Was he was saying insanely racist shit, and then Ariel Helwani and not, I'm sure there's plenty of other non-Ariel Helwani people. Like I quickly glossed over the ESPN article about it, who's also in business with WWE, and it also is like, listen, he may have had a problematic history, but we have to respect that he was a part of people's childhoods. Why do I have to respect that? What the fuck is this? Like and this is what I was thinking about when I was listening to some of this shit earlier, is like what happened in the 1980s where these people have these childhoods that are so precious that they have to be protected like this. Like, oh, you can't talk about Michael Jackson being a pedophile because he was a part of people's childhoods.
I mean, I don't get that either because I was a child back then and I had Thriller, the album, and this cassette tape. I was a huge fan, and then when I found out he's a pedophile, I'm like, oh, fuck that guy. And wasn't like, oh, my childhood.
Dan Marino, and then he turns out he's a fraud. I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
Don't you dare. Watch your fucking mouth, kid.
I'm just kidding. Calm down. He did get destroyed by my guy, Joe Montana.
Everything between the white lines, you know, is fair game.
It's the goat, whatever. But
everything that happens between those white lines is fair game. But you know, he didn't do anything outside that.
No,
you know,
of course not. Of course not. We love Dan Marino.
But like you're saying, no, but seriously though, but like you're saying about Hogan and our history with him, that it's so his life and Trump to me are like they're parallel because like in the '80s I didn't like either of them. I thought Hogan, I was a Macho Man kid, and also I thought Hogan was corny. The whole thing to me was just like, this isn't cool. Like, oh, say my prayers, eat my vitamins. A, there's no God. B, like you're on steroids. Like this is, I knew that as a child, you know?
Yeah.
And the same thing with Trump. Like people are all about Trump in the '80s about being this, you know, whiz kid, real estate guru. He's so smart. And then like as a kid, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this guy bankrupted the USFL and he's just a con artist, you know? Like he's not a for real serious individual, you know? And to see them both go into like getting manipulated and being used, well, you know, I would say manipulated because they went willingly, but being used as pawns in this game by these even darker forces like
just
Peter Thiel and the Heritage Foundation, just to fluff their egos, and now coming to the end of their lives, and they both like hopefully, you know, maybe they'll both run parallel in a different way, you know.
Hey, you know what?
Shout out.
Let us pray.
Let us pray.
We're sending thoughts and prayers. Don't say what the thoughts are. Don't say what the prayers are for. But I'm sending thoughts and prayers right now. And Hogan, I'm sure, is down there looking up, saying, "Thank you, brother." Because he's such a mark, he doesn't realize I'm making fun of you again, Hulk Hogan. You're so delusional, you think you're loved. Here's my relationship with Hogan. I grew up, my grandpa was playing wrestling in the room when I was a baby. Like he came over to visit my mom and said, wrestling's on, put it on the TV, right? my grandpa loved wrestling, and my Theo Bobby was the biggest Hogan fan ever. Like in his room, he had like all the Hogan dolls, all the action figures. He had a Hogan belt. He had. I remember when the NWO popped off, he had the NWO like Letterman jacket. He was like Hogan was his fucking guy. So before NWO, even we watched WCW when I was growing up because that was where Hogan was.
That was the
what
worst
Hogan was
Hogan,
doing.
too.
He was the guy, you know.
Yeah, and that was horrible. That was like
I
fucking Legion of
hated it.
Doom. Yeah.
You have to imagine. I'm like, what? Where are the cartoons? Put on Nickelodeon. Put on something good. Is Beavis and Butthead on? I was a Beavis and Butthead guy when I was 3-4 years old. As soon as that show came out, give me the Ninja Turtles. Give me Beavis and Butthead. This Hogan shit is played out. That's washed. The 90s are about attitude, and Hogan don't have it, right?
Yeah, in WCW back then, that was when Bruce Beefcake was doing the Booty Juice guy or the Booty Man with the makeup.
I don't even when that was on, every wrestler was the same guy to me. Everyone. And I remember it being like, oh, it's this guy again. I'm like, every guy is Ric Flair. Every guy. I did. Hulk Hogan was different, but I felt like all I ever saw was Hogan wrestling Ric Flair on an infinite loop throughout my entire childhood until Rey Mysterio Jr. When Rey popped up, that's when I was like, who's this? Like, wait, is this sick? What we watching cool as fuck, actually? Okay, I'm on board. Like, that's when it turned for me when I saw Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
But when I was watching Hogan, I was like, please turn this off. And they were like, you have no say. You will watch whatever we tell you to watch and you will like it. You know? So and you know what? I grew to love it. But I never loved Hogan because I always thought Hogan was old-fashioned and boring and cringe. Because I was into Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Beavis and Butthead, cool shit. Hogan was this 80s relic by the time I was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
totally.
I had people talk about like their love of Hogan. You had to grow up and respect it. I don't have to respect shit. I hated Hogan. What Hogan represented to me was I can't watch better things right now. That's what Hogan was.
Yeah, and even as a kid, when Hogan in the '80s before he went to WCW when he was in WWF, and I was watching it, and I would watch the Saturday morning cartoon. They had the WWF Superstars cartoon. I watched that when I was a kid because I was all about Macho Man and Junkyard Dog and Ricky Steamboat. Those are my guys. And every time Hogan was on, I was like, oh, this sucks. And like every time Hogan would wrestle one of my guys, I turned it off because I know Hogan was going to win. You know, it's like this is just, and because I even knew it was it was scripted back then. So I knew like, Hogan's winning because he never loses because he's Hulk Hogan. And
the other wrestlers that I loved when I was a kid, because like when I got into wrestling, suddenly like my family was like, oh, you should have here's some tapes, like tapes that they didn't want or had doubles of. They gave me a Road Warriors best of from AWA. I watched the fuck out of that. I watched them wrestle Kurt Hennig, Baron Von
also,
Raschke.
oh dang, they would come out to Ozzy, R.I.P.
Big
Iron
R.I.P.
Man. Yeah.
I love Ozzy, and I want to hear your experience with Ozzy. But we also lost another great, Chuck Mangione, today.
You know what? I have more of an experience with Chuck Mangione than Ozzy. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, because Chuck's that guy.
Chuck was that guy. Yeah.
But you know what? Let's get back to this Hogan article, and then we'll maybe go back to Ozzy after that.
You're right. Think about it, though. We really did lose a lot of famous, infamous people this week.
Malcolm.
Yeah, Theo Huxtable. Dang.
Yeah. Who else were you saying?
Well, Hogan, Chuck Mangione, Ozzy. Also, I think the guy who did the American song died recently. That song, Hogan song, Rick Derringer or something. Yeah. They're talking about it on Fightful.
Superman, because the Fantastic Four movie just shoved it out of our minds. I used to think about Superman all the time. Now I don't think about it at all. All I can think about is the Fantastic Four. Thank you to MCU, Marvel Studios. You nailed it. You put out an absolute banger of a movie.
Yeah. Also, people. One thing to add to that movie, I just loved the way it looked. I loved the. I know we had read those articles, or it's visually stunning. I won't call it
Oh
stunning.
yeah, I was laughing at that. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure it is. It was actually visually stunning.
yeah, it was really nice. And some of the CGI did look a little wonky in spots, but in a good way. Because I like my CGI to look a little wonky. Because if it looks
I do too.
too, yeah, if it looks too perfect, it takes me out of it, and it has a uncanny valley thing going on. So, yeah, shout out, Fantastic Four.
So this article continues. Even now, decades removed from his apex as a performer, which again, low apex, Hogan remains the art form's single most iconic cultural presence, and that I won't deny.
Yeah.
Hogan is bigger than everybody else, in a bad way, because he was so obnoxious and bad and stupid. We all hated him. He reached an echelon of fame previously unheard of in this squared circle. It isn't an exaggeration to say that without his red and yellow gestalt clearing the way, guys like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and John Cena would have struggled to make a dent in Hollywood. That sounds a little crazy to me. Because,
I don't know.
If anything, it's not like he cleared the way for them. If anything, he was like a massive hindrance.
Because you're so bad.
They had the fucking Hogan stink on like wroddy becoming actors for so long. Like,
dude, in that regard, Roddy Piper was the
Roddy
one.
Piper.
Yeah, exactly.
Roddy Piper was good, and then they were like, "Oh, if Roddy Piper is good, Hogan must be great." Then Hogan came in. Hogan was pure shit. One of the worst to ever do it. And they're like, "Okay, well, if Hogan, the best wrestler of all time, according to morons who watch wrestling, if he's the best they've ever done, and literally, like, nobody's better than him, why would we get anybody worse than him to be in our fucking movie? That just wouldn't happen."
Yeah.
So if not for, Hogan, we might have a bigger role for Macho Man the Randy Savage in
might have been more
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He says, "I got you for 3 minutes." He was like the buzzsaw.
Yeah, buzzsaw boneyard or something, or
something cool as fuck.
Yeah,
I think he says like I think he's like homophobic to Spider-Man is homophobic to him. Actually,
yeah, he does. He says something about his pants or something, or
he calls him gay. I think he says the F slur.
No, in the Spider-Man movie.
No, I remember like, wow. So I can't believe Spider-Man just said the F slur.
I don't think he says that. I gotta rewatch it.
Well, I'd have to check the tape. This is like my Man of Steel take, where like I want to give the take.
Uncle Bubba says forgetting the acting roles of Jesse Ventura. You know what, Bubba, you're right.
Oh, you're right.
Sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Jesse, who, by the way, was scabbed out by Hogan, who we hate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Salt says Spider-Man implies that Bonesaw has a husband, which is fine if he does. Does Spider-Man say it's fine if he does, or are you editorializing that it's fine if Macho Man has a husband? That I need to know, because that changes everything. If you're editorializing, that's different than if Spider-Man's editorializing. Or, no, if you're editorializing, it's if Spider-Man said that. You know what I mean?
I don't think Spider-Man follows up that line with, not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't think he says that. I think he just says it.
You have to do that. Otherwise, you're a homophobe. And even if you do say that, Salt says, I am editorializing, Spider-Man is not. Thank you. So Spider-Man is still a homophobe.
Not so spectacular, is he?
You know what? I'm glad what happened to Uncle Ben happened to Uncle Ben. Because you did a no growth, and that was instant karma. You snaked the promoter. No, the
promoter snaked him. He was going to stiff him.
Yeah, promoter snaked you, but you still got your shit in, and you didn't sell for the Macho Man. So that's
He did not sell for the Macho Man.
You didn't sell for the Macho Man at all.
No.
You know. So Spider-Man doesn't follow up with that. Pretty sure Spider-Man says, and I'd vote against it if it was on the ballot. What? Spider-Man, you can't say that, dude. Spider-Man is problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like what Spider-Man's views are about gay marriage and homosexuality. That's crazy that he said all that. The version is that version of Spider-Man is from Staten Island. The salt. Yeah. So, anyways, Hogan ruined it for everybody. Hogan basically salted the earth by being so ass.
Yeah.
They thought he was going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was Arnold says the N-word.
Well, you know what he did is they put him in
crazy joke. I mean, come on. Yeah.
They put him in Rocky 3.
I crushed that joke.
He did.
Rocky 3?
They put him in Rocky 3, and he thought that he was going to be like the next Arnold.
Rocky 4.
No, it was Rocky 3. Rocky 4 is Ivan Drago.
Oh, I thought Ivan Drago was.
Damn, bro! I thought you fucking knew the Rocky movies. You like CM Punk? You don't even know.
No, I just mix them up in my head.
Rocky 1 and Rocky 2, he fights Apollo. Rocky 3, he fights Clubber Lang. Clubber Lang's the movie with Hulk Hogan.
Is that?
And Rocky 4 is.
I thought it was the other way.
Yeah, Rocky 4 is Ivan Drago. Rocky 5 is Tommy Guns.
Well, shout out to Rocky 3. I must have watched them out of order. And then in my head, I just cemented him in the order that I watched him in, which was incorrect.
And Rocky 3, he just plays himself, you know. So,
you guys see any Hogan movies? Not counting Rocky 3. Yeah, I watched Suburban Commando. I watched
the nanny one.
I watched Three Ninjas. The High Noon at Mega Mountain or whatever the fuck. I watched Mr.
No Holds
Nanny.
Barred. I've seen No Holds Barred.
No Holds Barred. Which one is No Holds Barred?
That's the wrestling one with Zeus. Where he fights Zeus.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first
one.
I've
seen that one.
That was the WWE one in the 90s, in the 80s, where he was like wrestling, and they're like, and they brought Zeus in to the WWF to wrestle him in like the main event of a WrestleMania. And of course, he couldn't work because
I'm looking. I never bothered with Gremlins 2 because Gremlins 1 was so ass.
Gremlins 2 was great.
I did never see Muppets in Space. Never watched Spy Hard, which apparently he's in. Never watched No Holds Barred. Watched Suburban Commando. Watched Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain. Which, by the way, I got the name right. I mean, come on, that's incredible that I knew the name of that. Mr. Nanny.
We watched an episode of Thunder in Paradise. We saw that.
Muscles. Thunder in Paradise. We watched a little bit of that. The rest of this is just like non-wrestling shit. So yeah, I basically have seen everything the man has done, and he sucked in pretty much all of it.
Yeah.
He's like a bottom tier wrestler. And in fact, when he was on our list of like MAGA celebs that we did our tier, he was pretty low on that. I don't recall him being very high up.
I remember trying to put him in art over artist because of his NWO run, purely for that. Because to me, that was like where he had a renaissance. Because, you know, like you said, in the 80s.
I shut you down?
Yeah, you shut. Well, yeah, we came to an agreement, I think, on it. But
okay.
I don't remember what the final.
Just to be clear, though, I hated Hogan more.
Yeah, I think it's just because that NWO run was so iconic, you know, and not just because of him, because of Hall and Nash and everything else. It was just that to me was no, but to be honest, like if anyone else was a third man, it wouldn't have hit the same. So it almost had to be him.
Sure. Okay, but here. So anyway, we'll continue with the article. It says, Hogan was a consummate performer, never a technical whiz between the ropes, true, but preternaturally gifted with a unique brand of cartoon machismo. He occupies the Washington spot on the WWE Mount Rushmore. Nobody else comes close. But if we're going to write an honest accounting of the man's life, we must acknowledge the other piece of Hogan's legacy. I speak naturally of how by the end of his life, everyone seemed to hate his guts. This is what we wanted. I am not talking about Hogan's...
To what he said about he's number one on the list and there's no one even close, I would argue The Rock is probably above him because The Rock
owns the company now.
The Rock owns the company and he made big movies that made a lot of money, you know. So it's not like, you know, Hogan just did the wrestling thing and he popped and then he fucking floundered. Yeah. Rock got that same push and he took that shit and ran with it and, you know, did.
I mean, here's the other thing Hogan did. He left the company for WCW.
Yeah, he fought. He competed against them. Although he didn't. I don't think did he testify against Vince in that steroid trial? I think he took. He might have lied. He might have took a bullet for Vince there. I don't remember.
I don't remember how exactly that went down. I know it was like shady as fuck though.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm going to continue this article. I'm not talking about Hogan's latter-day MAGA turn. though that certainly didn't help. He appeared at last summer's Republican National Convention, where he tore off his shirt and flexed for the cameras in a Trump Vans tank top. It turned out to be a publicity stunt. Hogan was in the process of launching his Real American beer and seemed eager to enshrine himself on the right side of the forthcoming realignment. Hilariously, that meant that for one of his final stints in WWE television occurred days before the inauguration, during which he shilled his beer to a spectacular viral cascade of boos from wrestling fans. I wrote about the spectacle when it happened. It might be the only joy that the second Trump administration has brought me. Hogan would later claim that he was jeered for his, quote, political beliefs, casting himself as a beleaguered warrior. By the way, he didn't just say that he was booed for that. He went on Ariel Helwani and said he was playing a heel, if you recall. And Ariel was like, "Oh, wow. I didn't realize you were playing a heel." It was like, he was like,
Ariel's
he was
such a
just
fucking
on there
dude.
lying to Ariel's face. And Ariel was like, "Oh, really? I didn't
Just lapping
know."
it up. Yeah.
Fucking
No,
disgusting.
he wasn't playing a character. He's promoting beer. He came out in the red and yellow. That's not the
They
heel.
want-
The heel character is the black and white. He was coming out as babyface Hogan, thinking he was going
He
to get
wanted
a pop.
to be adored, and they shit all over him because they are woke. No, I said it before. It's because they're soy. They're soy Disney adults, the WWE audience, which is fine. I'm a soy MCU guy.
Yeah, both of us are.
Yeah,
I'm on an MCU high after the Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. I'm MCU all the way. Let's go.
I will say though, it's like continued in whatever movie. I'm like, I won't be there for that.
I don't know. I want to see. I want to see.
I was like, hey, good luck with all that. Maybe I'll catch it with my friends watching on Marvel, whatever. But I'm here for this 1960s stuff. I'm not here for modern day. Don't modern day it.
Yeah, we can't really get into that either without spoiling. So
yeah, no, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just like everybody knows the MCU movie, and it's like, well, the MCU movies are modern day. They have pronouns.
Well, at the end of the I can't. Well, because see, at the end of the Thunderbolts, I guess.
You know, I guess you could spoil the Thunderbolts. Who gives a shit about the Thunderbolts?
Well, no, because then it kind of spoils it.
Tell me later. Tell me after the show. Since you and I are we were invited, frankly, to the premiere of the Fantastic Four movie. They said the New Cool Meat podcast is the #1 comics podcast. We know they don't talk about comics; they talk about politics. But this movie, we know, has this amazing political undercurrent, and we want your guys' opinion. So we were personally invited, flown out to the premiere. We saw it. We said, "Don't take pictures of us," because we don't want people to know that we're bought and paid for. We're not bought and paid for, frankly. Don't take pictures of us on the blue carpet. We're going to see it. We're going to watch it. We're going to go home, and then we'll give you our thoughts unbiased on the New Cool Meat podcast. We didn't pay for this movie. We're also not paid by this movie.
Neither of us work for Marvel.
But we did have they gave us sort of what they used to call the Rob Liefeld treatment. Before which means they'll let us see the movie, but we can't go to the after party.
Yeah, just don't talk to them.
You can see the movie, but please don't look us in the eye.
You know what?
We know you're industry icons, but we'd rather people not know that we know you. You're a clown.
Oh man! You know, in the movie,
don't go full spoil yet. Give it a month. Wait till after it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I won't say anything.
This is likely the last time we'll talk to it. The closest we came to spoilers was earlier, when all of our audience left us, except for the 200 faithful.
250 killers.
Yeah, the 200 killers. We haven't got 250 yet. We got 200 killers, but the 200 faithful, they were watching. The rest people dipped out. We had thousands.
You know how teleportation did play a role in that movie? I wonder if you could teleport yourself to somewhere for a split second. You.
Me personally?
Yeah, just for a split second. Transport yourself to a magical place in Southern California that is this.
Rob's house?
No, it's the epicenter of pop culture right now. What's going on this weekend?
I'm there currently. I have this. This is a green screen backdrop. I didn't want to shock the audience with that's Ramon. He's not in his usual setup. We're so used to the usual setup. I got a green screen at San Diego Comic-Con. We're both at San Diego Comic-Con.
I'm at San Diego Comic-Con right now. San Diego's outside my window.
We're actually in the same room as each other right now, but this is live from San Diego Comic-Con. Which, by the way, lots of business being done here. Lots of movers and shakers. I've been wined and dined by every publisher. It's exhausting.
Yeah, and they're releasing the Epstein files at Hall H tonight.
Hall H is going to release the Epstein files, and I got to say, we got a sneak peek because we are #1 comics podcast, non-political, non-comics, and they said, listen, you guys need to see this. You know who's on it?
Trump's on it.
Donald Trump is on it. You know who else is on it? Michael Jackson is on it.
You know who else died this week? Roy Black. You know who Roy Black was? He was Jeffrey Epstein's attorney. He died at 80.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Old age.
Yeah,
it's a killer.
It's a killer.
Mysterious circumstances, it'll get you.
Yeah.
Anyways, Hogan would later claim that he was jeered for his political beliefs, casting himself as a beleaguered warrior standing artward as an encroached liberal tide. Nothing could be further from the truth. Why do people despise Hogan? You simply need to look at the cavalcade of hurt feelings and callous double crosses he left in his wake. In a career spanning half a century, the man developed a genuinely Jay Leno-like reputation for the viciousness in which he protected his top spot in the WWF. His current... Well, it's his WWE.
I'm just picturing him as Jay Leno, you know? That's not going to work for me, brother. Did you hear about this? It's not going to work for me.
Hey, hear about these vitamins? Take them. His ego frequently degraded the product itself. There are too many stories to recall here, and all of them require a certain fluency with pro wrestling customs, but I'll try to distill a few highlights in layman's terms. For instance, in '93, Hogan outmaneuvered Bret Hart, another one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, by persuading the company chairman Vince McMahon, a sex trafficker, to alter the ending of WrestleMania IX at the last minute. Instead of Hart defending his title in the main event, Hogan snatched the belt back on an anticlimactic technicality. Hulk paraded around the gold for the last few months he had left on his contract, in a farewell tour only he seemed to want. Hart
that was the Yokozuna, right? That was the Yokozuna
you
match.
Know what? Shout out to this goof, Ariel Helwani, who was talking about Bret Hart was my favorite wrestler. Then how could you like Hulk Hogan? The two were mortal enemies. Bret only ever said that Hogan was a giant clown.
Yeah.
And you're still fawning over him. This is not my brand of loyalty. I was going to say
that. The funniest shit was that, was it Cam or somebody posted in a Discord about the Ric Flair video where he's crying about Hogan, but he's also saying the Steamboat was better. Did you see that?
Yeah. Tony, can you do me a favor? Can you pass me that Coke Zero over there? Uncle Bubba says, if Tony's arm went to the side of the panels and Ramon had just Pepsi in his hand, that would, like, oh, no, fuck. We almost had it. We both put up. This is a separate bottle that he handed me. This is, oh, thank you.
Here you go.
You should put it. Do it again.
You gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go.
Okay. Try. Okay, try one more time.
Here you go.
Pass it. No. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Wow, look at that. Wow, it's so great being in the same room, seeing you over there. That's so cool.
Man. It's nice rubbing elbows with you, buddy.
And this is a live show in front of all of our fans.
200 people in Hall H. We're in Hall H right now.
Soaking it all in. Uncle Bo says they're in the same room. Yeah, we are. So an even weirder incident occurred 4 years later when Hogan was working for WWE's rival wrestling promotion, WCW. He was playing a bad guy at this point in his career, and he was booked to wrestle the beloved babyface Sting. It was legitimately the most anticipated match of its era. It's really hard to explain to people how big of a deal this was, because it would be like if Luke Skywalker fought Darth Vader.
I remember watching this me and my buddy used to go to this TGI Fridays to watch pay-per-views because they would play them back then during the 90s. And we watched Starrcade at a TGI Fridays at eating, jalapeno poppers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a real American.
It was like if Batman fought the Joker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's epic. It's the
Epic.
moment that like a year and some change worth of stories were all building to this one moment. Hogan versus Sting. And then this happens.
And they
It was
bungle.
literally the most anticipated match of its era, and the company cloaked it all in a sort of soap opera pageantry. By the way, like if you rewatch when Sting comes out, Goosey's on top of Goosey's, bro. It's insane. Like he looks so fucking sick. He looks absolutely ready for war. Insane aura. Like Sting's just that guy. For like legitimately that guy. The storyline heading into the match was that Hogan had skewed the rules in his favor with a crooked referee named Nick Patrick. Patrick was supposed to execute what in the industry is known as a fast 3 count. When Hogan pinned Sting, Patrick would pound the mat as fast as possible to award Hogan the victory, thus ditching the impartial cadence forced by the imaginary rulebook. It would demonstrate to the crowd, in no uncertain terms, that the hero had been screwed out of his rightful victory. The problem, when the match reached its climax, Patrick didn't perform a fast 3 count after all, which is, by the way, how Hangman Page beat Mox at the best pay-per-view or AW all over.
Now Mox tapped.
One of the fastest threes one of the fastest one of the fastest oh he's out I've ever seen. Mox was saying Mox was doing this. I'm getting him off of me. I'm gonna break the hold.
We almost had 2 fucking legendary wrestlers die from a crushed larynx this week or this month.
No. It continues. Patrick didn't perform the fast 3 count after all. There are conflicting reports as to why, but years later, Patrick alleged that Hogan was the last one to call the audible. At his most ruthless, it could often seem like Hogan believed wrestling to be real. By the way, it doesn't even mention this. Hogan was also supposed to grab the tights of Sting, and he didn't do that either. So he's supposed to be a fast 3 count. And he's like, no, you know what? Instead of me cheating to win, I'm just going to go over clean.
Yeah, that's the way this has to go.
Bury the hero.
Yeah.
He's fucking awful.
Awful.
To be fair, he was not alone in this distinction. Pro wrestling has always been a cutthroat institution, and historically speaking, has favored its most cold-blooded operators. Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know, like Steve Austin was like a guy who was like, I don't know. And even The Rock all come to mind. Even The Rock. No, The Rock's cutthroat later with like John Cena and stuff.
Yeah, but in the ring stuff, him and Stone Cold always seemed like they were willing. They put guys over all the time. They lose all the time.
It doesn't mention Triple H in this thing, by the way.
Yeah, he was just as bad as Hogan. He was always pulling that
but Hogan's crimes had a nasty way of escaping the fantasia of the ring. In '86, Hogan committed perhaps his greatest sin when he scuttled a burgeoning unionization effort in the WWE. The labor action was led by future Minnesota Governor and actor Jesse the Body Ventura. He planned to organize a wildcat strike in the days before WrestleMania 2, when the performers had maximum leverage. Healthcare and retirement benefits were among its core demands. After Hogan caught wind of the effort, he took it straight to McMahon, who subsequently threatened to fire any wrestler involved in the effort. Just like Hart, Ventura never made amends with Hogan, who characterized what he did as a betrayal. To this day, WWE wrestlers lack a union. I could go on. Hogan was a vessel for one of Peter Thiel's first forays into political donorship, when the tech baron dumped oodles of cash into a lawsuit that brought the destruction of Gawker Media. Hogan was suing the publication ostensibly because it had published his sex tape, on which he uttered racial slurs, specifically about a black man his daughter Brooke was dating. In reality, it seemed clear that Thiel's willing partner to take down a long-term. He was Thiel's willing partner to take down a long-term foe. Still, the slurs got him briefly booted out of the WWE, and when the company reinstated him in 2018, he offered a half-hearted mea culpa to the wrestlers backstage. According to those present, Hogan began his apology by warning the roster to be mindful about being recorded without their knowledge. Rather than addressing the charges head-on, a group of prominent black wrestlers eventually released a statement about the meeting, asserting that they need to see Hogan make a genuine effort to change if he were to gain their trust. It is safe to say that never happened. So this is where we leave Hogan, a conniving and sadistically opportunistic person who is nonetheless permanently sanctified in the canon. I'm sure if you had the chance to ask him, he'd contend that all of those qualities were vital to his success, that it is impossible to scale the oily theogony of pro wrestling immortality without making a gallery of enemies, both on screen and off. The trade-off, unlike so many of his peers, Hogan never did earn a beatific final chapter. Nobody came to kiss the ring. Those glory years in the 1980s when Hulkamania truly ran wild have been completely overshadowed by his cruelty toward what we know now. Toward what we now know was the end of his life. Fellow legends seem to take special pleasure in offering part shots. Just days ago, I listened to The Undertaker give his opinion on the hellish reception Hogan received in L.A. Sometimes in life, things come back. Uncle Bubba says, listen, brother, when you're asked to bone your friend's wife, check for the cameras. That's crazy. But yeah, he's a piece of shit. I never liked him. I always thought he was trash as fuck. And I'm, to say like I'm happy he's gone. Like I didn't know the guy, so I don't really, not really like happy he's gone. But I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. And like he could have been, if he would have died sooner, his legacy probably would have been better off, frankly. Like the worst thing for his legacy was him living an extra like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years.
Remember when he said he was invited to be in Metallica or something?
Yeah, he lied about saying he wanted to be in the greatest band of all time, Metallica. So that they called him to ask if he could play the bass. They asked him, it's like, no, we didn't. Who's Hulk Hogan?
It's like, James, that's not going to work for me, brother. I got bigger things to do.
Metallica was making music for Sting to come out to. One of the greatest of all time.
Remember, who did, it was Hogan and Rodman versus Karl Malone and DDP,
and
right?
Malone.
Yeah, that might have been the height of his career right there, that moment.
Yeah, I think this article does a pretty good job of like pointing out the different like the general different ways. If like you're not talking about like the pure wrestling stuff of like why he sucked so bad, it's like these like little things they just kind of pile up. Sort of like when I was watching the Superman movie and I'm like, oh, it's like the little things over and over. You know what my other good take was on this, by the way, is that if I were LeBron, I'd be watching this very careful because if I'm LeBron, I'm looking at how people treat Hogan. And brother, that is how they are going to talk about you when you're gone. You and Hogan are basically the same guy.
You know, the best thing for him to do is just to go back to Miami and finish out his career there. I think that would be.
For example, why you don't want to win a ring?
I said he should. He should come to Miami.
But then you want to watch him lose on your team?
We win with him. We won too. I don't know what you mean.
Here's how Hogan and LeBron are basically the same guy. Both are bald. Both are famous liars. Both do steroids. Both are famous adulterers. Both are Cowboys fans. And both are fake champions.
I thought you left one out. They both have fail sons.
Yeah, they both have fail sons. I mean, I did see his son play live at that basketball tournament. So I know he sucks.
Yeah. And Bronny's not.
I'm not even talking about Bronny. I'm talking about the other guy.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Guy stinks. One of the worst to ever do it. But yeah, that's Hogan. We mentioned it briefly earlier. Ozzy died. That was kind of crazy. Because we just talked about him last week because we were doing our chimp news and he was doing the paintings with the chimpanzees. Mm-hmm. So we like briefly touched on Ozzy and his farewell tour. And it's like, then he dies? It's like, what if we just kept talking about people and then this happens to them? I feel like very bad about it because we keep talking about Donald Trump. And I don't want to put that negative energy out there. You know what I mean? I don't want to say we talk about X and then that person dies. But that's happened now twice.
Did you watch?
Dies. Talk about Ozzy dies.
I know we don't want to talk about
Mangione dies.
Did we talk about Mangione?
We talk about Mangione literally every episode.
Every day. Yeah. Did you, speaking of Trump, did you see that South Park video?
I did.
AI thing they did?
Yeah. Well, I didn't see the AI thing. I just saw that they did like the Saddam Hussein thing. I think it's kind of funny that after like a decade of like saying nothing about Trump, almost like to the like that's unfair because they just made like the principal guy Trump.
No,
Like I
I
forget the
haven't watched
principal's
it
name.
so long. I don't
Yeah,
know
like
it.
they basically turned the principal into Donald Trump, and like that was the bit was like the gay principal is Donald Trump, but they
Oh,
never.
the drugs are bad guy, or no,
No,
Garrison.
that's a counselor, Garrison. Yeah, Garrison. Like they made Garrison to where he had like the Trump makeup and the Trump hair and everything, and he just like it was that impression of like they weren't doing a Donald Trump. It was just like
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Garrison looks like Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they other than that, they haven't said anything about Trump. And like to just do like a Saddam Hussein thing, I get it. It's kind of funny. I think the metatextual thing is the funniest part about it, which is that he just did the settlement with Paramount CBS, and then they ended the Colbert Show, and people were like, "Oh, it's because of that.
Yeah.
Like it's because of the political pressure." And then Paramount gives the South Park guys $1.5 million for exclusive streaming rights for like 5 years, and the first episode they do is like as like brutal of like a not even like a really like substantive good takedown, but like what is effective towards people who like Trump though. And that's why I think people like misunderstand because people are like, oh, they're not saying anything. They're just saying he's gay, he has a small dick, he's like fucking Satan. And it's like, right, who thinks that's funny? Young men. Like, yes, if you're a woke person, you're gonna be like, I don't think that's funny that you're saying he has a small dick and that's like they burn. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
for you. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
for like
Why would
the
you watch
people.
South Park?
Yeah, it's like me when I watch South Park.
Yeah.
I'm an evil guy.
Sure. Sure. It's for
So
the
like,
edgelords. That's what it's for.
I'm an edgelord. I'm an incel. I'm one of these South Park viewers, and so they didn't make it for you. They didn't make it for the Stephen Colbert soy audience. They made it for the cool guys like me.
The Gooners.
They made it for the guys who are like, maybe Trump has some good ideas, but like, because I know Biden is woke and that's pretty gay, That's what I think, And so the way to win isn't to like make a Joe Rogan for the left, although again, we're willing to be that. The way to win is you get Matt Parker and Trey Stone and Matt Parker to say Donald Trump is gay, has a little dick, fuck Satan, do like this old joke, this old meme that people love, revitalize it, make it Trump. It's money. It's a money play by the South Park guys, and it's very funny that they do it in the aftermath of the settlement. You know what I mean? Like,
Did you say that you said they gave him 1.5 million? Is it
no,
billion or
billion.
million?
No,
Billion. Okay.
billion with a
Yeah,
B.
because you said million, and I'm like,
Oh, no. Billion.
oh, yeah, okay. Damn, that's a lot of money too. That's crazy. Good for them.
I mean, like the company's worth 20 billion, and they gave him one of them. You know what I mean? One and a
That's
half.
1/20th of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. I mean, it's good for them. I mean, it's crazy that little cartoon that they did say what you want about them, but it's pretty crazy to be that independent to do this.
I mean, you know me. I'm not going to say anything bad about them. I've always thought they were hilarious.
Yeah, I think they're pretty funny. I still have yet to see that Mormon thing.
I've always said they were like the funniest guys on TV.
Have you seen that Mormon, the play?
That was good. The Scientology one was good.
I haven't seen either of those.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Book of Mormon? I thought you meant the episode.
Yeah. No, the musicals.
No, I've never seen it. We're on a little bit of a delay because I was opening up an article and it loaded a long time. But I'm sure it'll catch back up.
Sure. It'll be fine.
Yeah. No, yeah. I haven't seen the episode yet for the new South Park, but I've last year or the year before, I caught up on all South Park. I watched everything. And I gotta say it's still fucking funny. So but like,
so it's not like The Simpsons.
You gotta remember my era was I'm in the 6th grade when South Park hits. That's like crack cocaine, and I'm already a Beavis and Butthead 4-year-old. You're a Beavis and Butthead 4-year-old and a South Park 10-year-old. you're a god tier comedian. That's why I'm so fucking funny. That's why people say like you're one of the funniest guys in all of podcasts and all of comics. You know what I'm saying?
People tell you that?
I've heard it.
Okay.
One of the 200.
One of the killers.
Yeah. So, anyways, speaking of which, when I was younger and I loved Ozzy, I want to talk a little bit about Ozzy because, you know, like it was crazy when he died. I'm like, that sucks because I used to like Ozzy. You know, I used to like Black Sabbath, and I remember like he became real cringe when. Oh, see, hold on. Uncle Bubba says many people are saying this. In fact, Uncle Bubba or anybody in the chat, if you want to just write down what I just said, I can put it up and it'll look like people are organically saying it. You know what I mean? It's just good content. If somebody says it here to sort of confirm what I already said about myself. I forgot what it was. It was something like you're one of the funniest guys in comics and podcasts, something like that.
Yeah.
If you say something like that, I'll just read it and I'll put it up on the screen. And then you just pretend that I'm not sort of guiding that. But unrelated, Ozzy, he died tragically, you know, of old age, but you know, he went out kind of on top. Like you got to think about like how funny it is that like Hogan was beloved when he was younger and like Ozzy was like a feared guy who was like a drug addict and like a laughing stock. And then when he got to go out, people like did this massive concert for him, live streamed it, big show. They had all the big metal guys come out to like pay their respects. Like Metallica was there. I think Slipknot was there. Slipknot was definitely there because one of the guys in Slipknot married his daughter or got engaged to his daughter, proposed to her backstage at the event. It was like a whole like family affair. It was like a big thing. And then Hogan goes out.
Was that nasty woman Sharon there?
Yeah, she was there, but you know, we don't like to bring her up. But Hogan goes out and it's like at his like weird little bar in Florida with like his wife who's like 20 years younger than him, who's like confused about what's going on with him. Like I don't know why his throat looks like he's got a hamster in there. It's just like going all googly eyed. his throat looks like a garden weasel. Is just going like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. His wife looked like his daughter. I remember that.
No, his wife wasn't his daughter.
No, she looked like him. She looked like her.
Uncle Buzz says Ozzy and Black Sabbath's final concert, Back to the Beginning, raised an impressive $190 million for charity.
Dang.
Yeah. Hogan did nothing for charity. But that's why he went out sad as fuck, and Ozzy went out being a cool guy.
Hogan was selling real American beers, just trying to keep his mortgage up to date.
Ozzy had the chimpanzee portraits, and Hogan tried to run a amateur wrestling company that like 20 people went to.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Isn't that still going on?
They failed UFC fighters.
Yeah, him and Bischoff still have an event coming up.
It's gotta now it's gotta sell out because they're gonna be like, oh, you gotta come. It was Hogan's dream for you all to be here. They're such carnies. They're gonna completely exploit his death. They might have Hogan's body in a glass casket there. You know what I mean?
Like Lennon just sitting there.
Yeah, like how they used to wheel out Stan Lee.
By the way, I love the Excelsior was the name of the ship. I thought that was a nice.
I loved at the very end of it. It was just a Jack Kirby quote and no Stan Lee quote. That's what I loved.
Where's the applause? Yeah, the applause.
Yeah. The very end of the movie, the very, very end, it's like a little Jack Kirby quote pops up, which we love. And in fact, Nick told me that at the screening that we both went to, actually, so we know because we were there, the director gave a very nice speech where he said that he was trying to honor Jack Kirby specifically, that this was like a Jack movie, that this was like him trying to capture that energy of Jack Kirby, which I think is fucking sick as fuck.
Yeah, when he said, I felt it when he said that in the theater.
Yeah, because we were there in person for it, just like we're there right now next to each other. Hey, what's up?
Hey, dog, what's going on?
Yeah, I think we keep both looking the wrong way. It's like can't get it right. This way. What's up, dude? I see you look the wrong way again. It's the other way. This way. Look, you gotta look the other way. The opposite one that you just did. Hey, what's up? Hey, look at that. We're in the same room. There it is. We nailed it. You know, if you want to pass that bottle. No, let's not try that again.
Take us forever to figure that out.
Anyways, yeah, but so my thing with Ozzy was that when I was younger, when I got into metal, it was like my family listens to like rap music and R&B music and stuff, like they were not. But my uncle Bobby loved metal. Same uncle that loved Hulk Hogan is who put me on to Metallica, put me on to Kiss, put me on to, Motley Crue, Skid Row, Ozzy. Like all the metal bands he had doubles of, he would just give me tapes for it because I didn't have a CD player. I had a cassette player. So I would listen to Ozzy when I was younger, and I didn't realize how much Ozzy I actually fucked with until after he died, and I started playing like hit after hit of like them and Sabbath. I was like, damn, dude, I really I forget because I don't listen to him that often. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's like some bangers that are like crazy, but my absolute favorite Ozzy song is called "Goodbye to Romance," and it's because when I was in like the 7th grade, I think I don't know if I've told this on the story before, but I feel like I've told you before this. When I was in 7th grade, I used to hang out with my boys all the time on the weekends. We'd all go to my friend Aditya's house because his mom worked the night shift at like an old folks home. So we'd all go to his house and he had cable internet. So we'd like play Counter-Strike, watch music videos because he also had cable. Sometimes we'd get some money. We'd go to the gas station and get like a soda and some chips. And we'd call it the hard stuff like we were Beavis and Butthead. And we would like, we'd act like we were Beavis and Butthead. We thought we were those fucking guys. So, but that's all we did. We were like kind of nerds. Like we just drank soda, ate chips, played video games, watched music videos. Our friend Adam comes over and he would like didn't hang out with us all the time, but he knew where Aditya lived and he knew we were hanging out. So he came over and he was like a musical prodigy to us. Like he was the best guitar player. He could play all the solos in a bunch of Ozzy songs because Randy Rhoads was like his idol. And Randy Rhoads died like really young. But he thought Randy Rhoads was the shit. So he learned how to play guitar and would like solo like Crazy Train and shit. And we were like in awe of this dude. So he comes over and he's wasted, like fucked up, cross-faded, drunk and high, in the 7th grade. And he was like this short little dude. And he came over just completely fucked up, goes into the bathroom, gets a keyboard that my friend's little brother had, like a little Casio like toy keyboard. He comes out and he's like, "Hey, does this thing work?" And my friend's like, "Oh yeah, you just turn it on." Turned it on. And the dude starts playing Goodbye to Romance like on this fucked up little Casio keyboard, singing it so pained. And I remember just being like, this is the craziest shit that I've ever seen. Like the 7th grade. I'm like, how does this 7th grader have so much life that he's like singing this song like he's lived it? You know what I mean? I was like, this is so poignant. This is so beautiful. I'll never forget this. And I still have not. It's like in my memory, like Goodbye to Romance. Every time I hear that song, I think of this dude who I haven't talked to in like over 25 years, probably. Like we didn't really talk in high school. We kind of went our separate ways. But like, yeah, I just that because of that, I always think of that dude. But that was like the Ozzy memory that I have like the strongest of. It was like, damn, that dude was like felt that shit.
I don't have any Ozzy members, but I have Chuck Mangione members.
Oh, let me hear the Chuck memory.
Well, in the 80s, my parents finally bought one of those like 1980s stereo sound systems with like the album, the record player on top, and then the tape deck and the graphic equalizer. The classic, like you've made it. You got this graphic equalizer built into your stereo thing with these two giant Bose speakers. And my mom had Chuck Mangione "Feel So Good," and she'd play it like every Sunday morning. That was her like go-to. Like she would go play jazz most of the morning, and Chuck Mangione was on that list. And she would play the shit out of that album. And I had really good memories, waking up listening to Chuck Mangione, going with my dad to go get comics at the print shop. Then we go feed ducks by this lake, and then go visit my grandparents. But it started with
the
Chuck
soundtrack
Mangione.
of that is a Chuck Mangione.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the morning.
I always think about Chuck because of the King of the Hill stuff. He was like a recurring character. It was like always
awesome.
there because he always was at the like Price Mart or whatever the fuck it was called. Which I can't wait for that show to come back.
Was it really
Speaking
him
of
doing the
which,
voice?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's great.
At first, it was like a bit where it was just his image, like he was the celebrity that was endorsing a thing.
Mhm.
Is like the funniest guy is Chuck Mangione because like who cares? I
Yeah.
didn't even know he was real until like much later, and I was like, oh shit, that's a real guy, you know, like. But yeah, it's like the real Chuck did his voice for the show too.
That's great.
But I'm gonna say, oh, speaking of King of the Hill, there's controversy because at Comic-Con, which we're at, they're having a King of the Hill cookout barbecue, and they're not using propane. It's just
What?
like, why?
I'm not going then.
I'm not going either. I was gonna go, and then I heard
Yeah.
that they're not using propane. It's like that's the whole point: is you
The whole
taste the
point of
meat,
the show.
not the heat.
Yeah, I even know that. I don't watch King of the Hill.
Yeah,
But so
it's like
iconic.
similar to the James Gunn Superman movie. It's a slap in the face to the real fans. So I won't be going. I'm pretty upset about it.
Oh, back to the Superman thing with Fantastic Four. When I was watching Fantastic Four, I really felt like they did what Superman was trying to do as far as like bringing the heart
Hope
back
being the new
to
Punk.
Hope. Yeah, Hope being the Punk. It might be, but it might be in Fantastic Four.
Well, what I again, not to do spoilery content here, but I felt like it did a much better job of doing the idea that like in the face of like of hopelessness, like having hope is like a revolutionary kind of idea. Like it's something that is like, you know, it's real and it's defiant to have hope. Even if you have literally every resource in the world at your disposal and you still are outmatched, if you believe in yourself and your family and, you know, everything else, like you can overcome anything. Like it, you know, I mentioned it's like Israel Palestine, but it can also be like climate change. You know, I thought about watching the movie. I thought about all kinds of things where it's like we are so fucked, but the idea that this movie presents is we are so fucked, but we still have each other.
Yeah.
So like you just got to do it. You know,
It works on every level. You know, you could go as far as like just someone's personal situation they're dealing with. You know, and it seems insurmountable. You know,
but you know, there's like a phrase in Islam from the Prophet Muhammad where they say like it's something like at Judgment Day, if you have a sapling, plant it. You know,
yeah,
like if you have a seed at the end of the world, plant the seed. It's the
Yeah.
same idea. Like if every time I think about how fucked up the world is, when I see people that are like have kids, it's like every one of those children are a potential like somebody who can like save the world at the end of, you know, when I'm like after I'm gone, right?
Mhm.
So it's like there's a little bit of hope there, and that I felt like that comes across in the movie. And you know, that's not the message of Superman. It's the
No.
message of the Fantastic Four movie. Not a spoiler. Not a spoiler.
Yeah, that
But
movie,
that's
the Fantastic Four is about family and community. You know,
right. It's about family and community, and like Superman's about Superman, and you
Yeah.
don't really feel like people working together like that, you know. So it's too bad. It's too bad for Superman.
Still gave it
Which
3 stars. Still gave
we're even
Superman 3
talking
stars.
about it. We're even that's like the Jeffrey Epstein shit. We're over that shit.
What do you think's going to happen with Ghislaine now? What's your prediction?
So I have not been following this stuff as closely as I think you have. I think they're supposed to talk to her, right?
I think they did today. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought they might have met with her today.
I don't know, because now it feels like everything's moving fast because they're playing like damage control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before everything was going so slow that it was like, you know, like you'd hear a leak here, whatever. I think he might have fucked up and overplayed his hand when he decided to sue Murdoch.
Yeah.
Because
like
it's like, oh, you're gonna sue me. I'm just gonna keep dropping shit at you.
Yeah. I made you. I own you.
Uncle Bubba says, except at the end of Superman when everyone came together as a community and helped each other out. No, that when? When in Superman movies that happen? Which Superman movie? You talk about the 70s one? I don't know. In the new one, I remember Superman saves everybody. He saves even the squirrels because he's such a great guy. I don't remember when everybody was helping each other out. I remember everybody helping themselves out. I remember everybody being selfish. He says third act. How dare you? I wrote an extensive review of the movie. I remember every inch of that movie. I have a photographic memory.
That one poor guy had to die just for Superman to get out of his glass case of emotion.
Wow. He said, "Oh, you didn't see it, fake fan. How dare you? I'm the only real fan because I hated it. All the fake fans, they all loved it because they don't know what's going on. But I am a real fan, so I said, garbage movie. Never show this to me again."
It was all right.
Well, it's not great.
It's no Fantastic
But
Four.
anyways, no. Oh my god.
The MCU is back, baby. I'm excited. Like,
Dude, earlier today I wrote
2008
LMAO
all
Hulk
over
Hogan.
again.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So it's gonna be like 2008 all over again. MCU is back. Hope and change is gonna be in the air.
Uncle Bubba says the only problem is Superman was there was no Lloyd Kaufman cameo. Well, would you really want that when Lloyd Kaufman is a proud Zionist and that was a pro-Palestine movie? Yikes. I don't know about that, Lloyd Kaufman. Maybe save the cameo for the Toxic Avenger. Ramon, so on Blue Sky earlier, I put LMAO Hulk Hogan. That's how I eulogize the man.
Sure.
And this guy says, "Am I the only one that doesn't care that he died? Another piece of shit has died. Who cares? I don't." And then some person goes, "A person isn't a piece of shit just because you don't agree. Just because they don't agree with you and aren't an overly sensitive bitch." And somebody says, "Oh, look, it's another overly sensitive bitch whining and projecting it." I didn't know that people were beefing on Blue Sky like this.
They do, yeah. Every time I go on there, if I look in a thread that might has slightly controversial take to it,
Oh,
there's
this
always
guy.
people arguing.
This guy responds
Getting
to a
real
bunch of my
pedantic and
tweets.
bullshit.
This guy's name is Fed Up With Your Crap. He says to another person, "You won't be missed by anyone."
Wow.
And then he tells another person, because he was replying to all the people. They put like somebody posted an Epstein bingo list as Diddy, Kid Rock, Ken Griffin, Kevin Spacey, Trump, Free Square, Prince Andrew, Jeff Bezos, Hulk Hogan, Drake. And the guy says, you love the assumption that it's only conservatives on the list. I promise you there are liberals on it too. Probably Biden and the Clintons. Of course. Well, I think the Clintons I know are on it.
Yeah, Biden's not on it, but Clinton's on it.
Biden's not on it. Biden was just happy to get like an ice cream from the man.
Yeah.
He was.
I mean, but the Dems didn't release it because Clinton's on it. That's pretty clear.
That's obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, that's obvious.
The whole thing with this Epstein list is all these people want to be like, "Oh, you're a liberal, so you must love Bill Clinton. You must say Clinton did nothing wrong." I think Clinton's a goof, and I think Hillary Clinton's a fucking even bigger goof.
Anybody on that list should rot in hell, and they should go to prison. Like it's
right. I'm an equal opportunity hater of people on this list. All these people claim to care about like predators, like child predators, and right now they're like, "Oh, how dare you!" Like talk about the guys that I like that are child predators. I don't think Diddy was a conservative at all.
No, neither was Drake. Drake's not really conservative, is he?
Well, Drake is a conservative, but
also like he wouldn't be on the list because he's way too young. That should happen. Like,
yeah,
they weren't getting a Degrassi High guy. They're fucking on the island.
Drake gets like the new, he's
Diddy now. Diddy parties. Okay, I could see it. You told me Drake is at Diddy parties. I can see it.
But whoever the new Epstein is, because they have a new guy.
Yeah,
whoever that guy is who the that's who Drake got. It was fucking.
You could start a rumor
to
say it's the guy who owns the Sixers. He's the new. He's the new.
Yeah, well, that's what
Epstein.
Everybody says. It's not even really a rumor. It's almost fact at this point.
All those white parties and shit.
All we need is sort of like my Fantastic Four take, where it's like it's already brewing. We just need to see it for confirmation. Sort of like Trump on the Epstein list. We already knew he was there, but we just needed like a little bit of confirmation. It's I knew going in that my take was correct. All I had to do was like get the stamp. Once I got it, I was able to hit send. Same thing with Trump. Same thing with all this shit. It's like we already know. We just need a little rubber stamp, and then we're good to go. Speaking of good to go, I think it's about time we start wrapping up. Anything you want to plug?
Go check out our boy Ibrahim Mustafa's Kickstarter link.
That's what I was going to say. Check out Ibrahim on Blue Sky and Instagram. I'm pretty sure he's still there too.
Yeah, Half-Blood.
And he has links to his Kickstarter. Obviously, we're too lazy to get the link ourselves beforehand. But, you know, new book, Half-Blood, coming out through Humanoids. And, you know what? They announced my book.
Oh, shit. Does that this weekend in San Diego?
No, they already put it up. That was already in the solicits that They're All Terrible 1 and 2 is coming out again through Bad Idea. For retailers that didn't get them the first time, you'll be able to get them in one issue with one book with 2 issues in it, and then 3 and 4 are coming out after that. But they're putting out a special edition of the first 2 in one package because it was like limited edition, because it was like Bad Idea before, and it still is Bad Idea, but it's like there's no longer Bad Idea retailers. Every retailer can just get it. So as long as I think they have a Diamond account, you can just get the book. So,
yeah, well, here at San Diego Comic Con, man, people are buzzing over it. They're talking about. That's all people are talking about.
Everyone's talking about it.
They're terrible.
I can't walk down the hall and say, "Oh, there's Ramon. He's doing They're All Terrible." So
They're All Terrible through Bad Idea Comics that you can get now.
Oh, not now, but you can pre-order it now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So if you want to pre-order it now, please do. If you've already have it, that's cool. You're one of 7 people. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding. We sold a lot of those comics. But no, I'm excited because like I barely had any copies myself, so it's going to be cool to be able, for more people to be able to read it. I worked very hard on it, and then we got more stuff coming out soon. Got a lot more stuff coming out soon. So stay tuned here, and we got more episodes of the show coming out. I feel like we took that 2-week break that was sort of like not our choice. Like one, it was the fireworks. Then it was like
I was teaching
like
too
the heat.
all week.
It was the heat, and then the fireworks and everything.
Yeah, really I was teaching. I couldn't really. I was going a bit early.
Yeah, so we 2 weeks we got fucked up, but I feel like we're back, baby. We're back, and we're better than ever. So is
there a new movie coming out next week, like a big budget movie that we have to go see? That we. Jurassic, that doesn't count. The Jurassic World.
It's been out.
No, Doug. No, and you know what? Your boy, the D-Rex. Talking about a bust. What a bust!
I don't put that on the D-Rex. I put it on the marketing.
D-Rex more like Trey Lance. He's the Trey Lance of dinosaurs.
More like Caleb Williams.
Wait, he's not a young goat. He's not a young lion coming up.
What?
Ready to take over the league?
Caleb?
Yeah.
Caleb's not? I thought he was.
Caleb's a young lion. He's ready to take off.
That's the D-Rex.
No,
but they both
D-Rex is a Trey Lance. No. D-Rex, no one's even talking about the D-Rex. People are still hyped on Caleb. I still hear Caleb chatter all over the place.
No one cares about Caleb. He had his debut and it was a disaster. You know that.
Well, we'll see next week when I introduce my NFL tiers.
I can't wait for that. I was going to say, though, the problem with the D-Rex movie was that I go to the store to Target and I walk down the toy aisle. I want to see D-Rex figures. When I go to the gas station and they have plushies for the dinosaurs for the movie, I want to see D-Rex plushies there. I need to see the D-Rex on the Slurpee cup. I need to see the D-Rex everywhere. The D-Rex, I can't find him. So it's not a matter of like, do people not care about the D-Rex? People don't know he exists because it's bad marketing.
You know why they didn't put him front and center? He's fucking busted.
Because they're dumbasses. Because it was a bad marketing campaign.
He's a grotesquerie. He's disgusting.
Well, he is that. That's why we love him. I'm looking up movies coming out next week. I don't know what's going to come out against the Fantastic Four. You'd have to be stupid. Wow, the South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut 25th anniversary. You know what? Oh, that's next weekend. Next weekend, I want to go see Sunset Boulevard in theaters.
Nice.
Yeah, But I don't think any new movies are coming out next weekend, really, because they're all shook by that Marvel release. They're all like, "It's too rich for my blood."
That
But
Eddington movie is playing in my
Marvel
indie
saw the
theater.
Superman release date, and they're like, "We don't care. We'll be there at the same
Yeah,
time as
we're not
always."
afraid of him.
Bubba says, "I don't see any standout movies anytime soon." Well, one came out today, so maybe you know what I'll go see next week? Fantastic Four again.
Oh,
And the week after that, I'll see it again. The week after that, I'll see it again. And then after that, I'll be done. I've had enough because it'll be on HBO. No, it'll be on Disney Plus.
you can watch it every night.
Yep. So, anyways, thank you for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. I'm gonna try to get another walk in before the sun really goes out. That's what I'm gonna do. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go walk the dog as well.
Then I'll see you next week, bro.
Yeah, see you next
Talk
week,
to you
dog. Later.
Ending the stream.